Hello everyone and welcome to Canal Clash. We are here with your top 8 and Rosa. It is an exciting top 8 today.
I mean, yes, Smart. Top 8 today has been filled with a lot of unexpected faces, of course some expected faces, and a lot of weird characters as well to get these players to the top 8. So, I mean, one of those characters, he is a character. No, but Bloom, been playing all kinds of characters today, haven't they?
Yes, that's true. I mean, we've seen the DK today, which was, that was I think, the most unexpected, but... Bloom is a person that, plays absolutely most of the characters, but we are going to be launching straight in. Bloom going with another interesting pick here, Rosa. The Joker.
Yes, the Joker. Not using a DK for this, Lucina, I'll tell you that. And so we're starting right here. Game 1 on PS2, UrbanTurban Bloom. I mean, oh my goodness me, this is going to go crazy.
So this is actually going to be very, very interesting to watch, as, definitely Urban, a very renowned Lucina, going with that name, but Bloom's Joker is not something that I think a lot of people, are used to or have seen that often. So, of course, as we said before, Bloom, type of person that could really just use almost every character in the class to an absolutely insane level.
Yeah, absolutely. The fundamentals are so solid on Bloom. You've seen them pick random in other tournaments, Wi-Fi tournaments over the past year. And of course now, with in the hands of Bloom, Joker, top 2 character, it's going to be looking really good.
Yeah, but so far, Urban doing a really good job of just stalling out this Arsene, because Joker, very much a character that, likes to have that Arsene on deck. They always talk about him being the big dad of Joker, and honestly, it's so true, because honestly, you want to watch out for that. And Urban just did a really exceptional job of just not taking too much damage, making sure that Arsene goes away.
As far as the matchup kind of goes here between Joker and Lucina, I'm not entirely sure if Tetrakan is going to be able to catch the up B. Otherwise, you've got bigger hitboxes than Joker if you are the Lucina. But of course, Joker's got the frame data, the combos, the killing, and then Arsene is just a whole different story, of course.
Absolutely, and talking about killing, Bloom taking the first stock there away from Urban, skewing that back air straight in. Of course, only 122. They've got to play careful here, though, because Urban definitely going to be looking to take away this stock. Playing it quite carefully right now, just trying to find out one hit. But this is all Bloom needs. They just need that one opening to get something started, and already they're starting to attack on this damage.
If you're Lucina, I'm going to guess that you're going to be looking for edge guards. Especially if you're against, Arsene, which, of course, has a long way to get to the ledge. That back air, that forward air, keeping Joker away, gimping Joker. Or, you get a down smash and you read that movement there. Really, really good solid stuff, and only a 50% lead. Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh, Bloom. Oh, but Urban makes it back, but Bloom is still keeping this edge guard going. Urban finally makes it to the ground, though, but Bloom gonna start taking, but that counter comes out, and of course that's just gonna build up the Arsene, who's slowly but surely gonna be coming up very soon. And here we go, the Arsene is out, and this is a scary position for Urban here, as they have to watch out, because Joker's killing power now turned up by 11.
Oh, unfortunate SD there from UrbanTurban though. It's only going to extend the lead for Bloom, who, look at this damage. That's a back air, that is an art. Oh, not quite hitting with the side B. But both of these players at ledge in general, have you seen these guys at ledge? They're like, oh, I'm not going to let them back. Well, that's it. This could be the stuff.
Exactly. What we've actually seen is a lot of this game has been played at the ledges, because both of these characters, as you say, Rosa, absolutely excel at the ledge. Yeah. So we've been seeing these two really kind of just taking every opportunity they have to really just maximize this huge amount of damage they can get overplayed, and just like that, already Urban in a pretty disastrous position, but no, able to make it back. Bloom trying to get a drag down into a grab there, not going to quite get it. They are so close to taking this game away, but Urban still needs to take away that second stock from Bloom.
Yeah, and of course Lucina, one of the floatier swords characters in this game. So that air dodge being quite far away, but still making it back to the ledge. Of course, though, UrbanTurban's going to have a lot more work to do than that in order to secure, this stock and the game. Oh, dash attack there. Not quite going to take it.
Yeah, Bloom, Urban just hanging on, but the air dodge, unfortunately seals their death there. As unfortunately, yes, not going to make it past the wall. That is Joker edgeguarding, and Bloom taking game 1 in a pretty convincing fashion.
Absolutely. That was basically the same scenario as we saw earlier on in the game, if you remember. We saw that air dodge to ledge, we were talking about it. Bloom went for the back air. Barely missed because Urban went high. Really, really good play, but that time sees the air dodge. and gets the back air.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, we do have to cast back to the point that we said before about how a lot of that game was just played off stage. And even at the end there, you know, a lot of what the damage was coming from was just the fact that both these players were just absolutely whacking each other off stage. So we're going to be seeing what changes here in game 2. Of course, no character change from Evo. You know, with Bloom's Joker looking like this, you know, not a surprise.
Yeah, and Town and City here for game number 2. I mean, Joker might not be able to extend if the platforms are gone, but of course, I mean, Bloom can extend from anywhere. Oh, no tech right there, and now it's, oh my god, it's back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is exactly how, you know, the last game went. Yeah, it was just so back and forth, and then suddenly Bloom found that opportunity to really just take it away. And again, we're starting to see that the damage is starting to back up, but then Urban finds that one opening and absolutely takes it and gets as much damage as he physically can.
Yeah, and I mean, like, a lot of fast buttons from Joker, of course. But then, you know, something that I've seen Urban be utilising is that up B out of shield. Frame 4 on the invulnerability, I'm pretty sure. Super, super good stuff. And oh my goodness, what a counter! Urban knows when to use, like, the moves perfectly in disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, that counter itself, you know, obviously didn't kind of, no more than a minor inconvenience to Bloom. It didn't really send him too far, didn't really do too much damage. But what it does show us is that Urban is aware. He is aware of what Bloom is trying to do, and he knows a lot of this set is going to be played off stage, so he's going to try and mix up. He's going to find different ways to find the openings he can, and so far it's working out quite nicely. This is all free damage right now, as he did take away Bloom's stock. Yeah,
and once again, UrbanTurban on the ledge. That's going to be a grab. Forward throw, not going to quite take it. Up being super high, that would have been genius. I saw those platforms come in, I was like, there's absolutely no way, right?
Yes, I think that's exactly it. I think Urban was expecting the platforms to come back and just slightly mistimed it. It was so close, like he kind of literally fell through the platform as it was coming back. So a really good attempt, but you know, when you're in this kind of position where you've got a pretty nice lead, you know, you can afford to do those sort of things. But that said, Arsene's out. And Bloom is starting to really rack up the damage.
I was going to say, I thought UrbanTurban was in the lead by at least a little bit. Now it's completely the other way around. Bloom has completely pulled that back. One Arsene later, and wow, 107, 109. We keep going.
Yeah, and you blink and he's at triple digits. And in Bloom really just maximising absolutely everything here. Urban trying to get the stock away, finally gets Bloom up to the triple digits, goes for a deep edge guard, and the attack does land, but unfortunately, Joker not in a position to make it back regardless.
Yeah, that wasn't going to save Bloom there, but a fantastic tech nonetheless. Now both of these players back in the neutral position. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't say that. Look at that. Right, back in the neutral position, one here and a back air, and well, there we go. Back to neutral.
Yeah, again, just edge guarding just coming up from both these players. And Urban really going for something deep there, trying to get that down there, hoping to hit Bloom straight into the abyss, but not going to get it just yet. Now trying to wait out this Arsene, get any kind of stray hits he can to reduce that Arsene meter as much as he can do, while not taking too much damage. But this is where Bloom starts, already 42%. Good edge guard, air dodge from Urban there.
Yeah, and of course you've got to be so wary of those back airs, and I mean aerials in general from Joker. Not only are they huge, but some of them combo. Lovely grab there from the Nair. Oh, what do we see here? No, I mean both of these characters missing. It's going to be one hit, and then we're going to spiral.
Again, now, what we're seeing, just this constant back and forth between both of them. Literally seeing in case of Bloom gets a few hits in, does a bit of damage. Then suddenly it's Urban's turn, gets some hits in. And this is what we've been seeing the entire set so far. And now it's just trying to find who is going to land at that decisive hit. Both these players at quite scale percentages here. Bloom holding advantage right now. He's on stage. He's going to try and hold this as much as he can.
I mean, every ledge interaction matters now. Like, look at these percents, look at where they are. A lot of these stocks have been taken by just getting these edge guards. Of course, both of these characters absolutely amazing. So whoever gets like grabs like that, every single offstage situation is just nerve-wracking now.
Exactly, and Urban definitely going to be feeling that right now as he is at 163, but Arsene is out. Can Bloom use this? Urban so close to the down there, but still keeping their edge here, trying to go for something, tries to go for up B again to hit Bloom into stage, but not going to do it just yet. The grab comes out, down throw, not going to do it just yet. 181% on Urban right now.
I mean, yeah, this point damage doesn't matter. That is an up tilt, not quite going to do it. Of course, Joker in the advantage. Not quite. Beautiful back air going to the side of the guns, not getting stuck under them at all. And that is going to be UrbanTurban taking game number 2.
Yeah, Urban just keeping his composure there, just making sure not to lose control at any point, holding that ledge, holding the ground, and then finding that one hit he needed to take that set. The up tilt coming out, not quite doing it, still keeping composure, gets the back air, takes the game, back in the set.
And I mean, it's so hard for a lot of characters to deal with guns, right? Especially if you're slow, especially if your jump height's not that great. You know, Joker guns down, it's basically free. But Urban recognizing that guns down is a very common option for Joker in disadvantage, and then going, okay, I know where they're going to be, jump, back air. Beautiful play. And I mean, this is why they're in top 8 winners, right?
Exactly. Absolutely exactly. I mean, they have shown their worth throughout the day, and that is exactly why they're in this position now. And of course, we're heading into game 3. It is still the Joker with Bloom and Lucina for Urban here.
Back on PS2, I seem like wait, we went PS2 game 1, did we not?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and that was, of course, Bloom's win. So, seemingly either, DSR? Not in...
I don't think it's in the full set this time, but...
Okay.
Cool, gentlemen. We'll allow it.
Yeah, we'll allow it. PS2 is PS2, right? You know.
Exactly. I mean, this is the most neutral stage in the game for a reason. Both these players quite happy to just go back here, I reckon. And honestly, it's an interesting one that we have gone back here. It might be kind of a comfort pick for Bloom, honestly. But both this stage kind of not bad for either character. To be honest, it's just a very, very neutral stage for a lot of the cast.
Okay, so both of these guys, very, very similar percents at this point, trying to find that one opening that's going to push them to the ledge. Almost ready for the back air, but Bloom coming in strong, and I mean, this is an Arsene, edge guard. What more can you say?
Exactly. I mean, you saw Bloom literally charging from one end of the stage to the other just to get that edge guard. And honestly, with Arsene now, you've really got to make use of every second that you have him. That's exactly what Bloom did, get that back air. Now it's down to Urban to get it, and that forward smash gonna come out and take that stock away.
I can't believe the forward air from Bloom missed, but I mean, that's a powerful forward smash. Right back to even, and now, Urban back in the driving seat, seemingly.
Exactly. I mean, again, we're starting to see shades of game 2 here, with Urban taking just the control of it, but Bloom wrestling it away from them here. Now just trying to get as much damage as he can. This grad is still coming out. Urban still on fire right now with holding advantage, but the Arsene is out and Bloom is going to make use of it.
Oh my, 60%, man? Catches the edge. Catches the air dodge to ledge. And that's all you need. Give Joker Arsene, and I mean, it's called a comeback mechanic for a reason. You're getting kills at 60. Lucina can't quite match that.
And of course, you got the short side blast zones as well, so that is definitely going to... Yeah, Bloom absolutely going to take this. This has really put them into a nice, comfortable position here in this game 3. A game that really is going to matter quite a lot for the rest of this set. So, Bloom definitely going to be looking to take it, and already getting a lot of damage going here, trying to use the non-Arsene Joker to back up as much as he can, but Urban trying to find the stock as quickly as he can, but so much damage is being piled on so quickly.
Maybe a jump back to stage. No, looking for this. Oh, that's a regrab. Not going to quite get any punish from Bloom there.
This is a scary position here for Urban, and those guns just interrupting. You can see that Bloom went for the counter there, trying to clash with Urban's up B. And again, another counter coming out, but good mash from Bloom. Not going to take it, but the up tilt finally taking that stock away.
Sorry.
113% game on.
I mean, as Lucina, you constantly have to be outplaying your opponent, right? Because you don't have a lot of combos. You've got to be getting these tech chases. You've got to be getting these juggles. Just good advantage, right? But we've seen a lot of moments where, the disjoints from Lucina have actually been able to swat Joker out of the air. But I mean, guaranteed damage is guaranteed damage. And at this point, you need guaranteed damage to build back a deficit like this.
Yeah, and now what we're seeing here is, again, for a final showing here, potentially, that Arsene coming out. Urban, you can see them playing so carefully, not throwing out any hits unless they need to. But in some cases, it doesn't matter, because that dash attack comes out and takes the game. Bloom, 2-1 up in this best of 5.
Yeah, and I mean, catching Urban Turban's dash back in there, you saw kind of a dash towards the ledge and then the dash back in. I mean, that's what dash attacks were bred for, you know? Like, catching those kind of movement, don't quite know where I want to be, and especially when you're at that high percent, you're going to be quite nervous, right? So making sure that they're covering all that space with the dash attack. Beautiful stuff from Bloom. Going to PS2 again for the final game here.
Yeah.
Or not the final game, but game 4. Who knows?
Potentially a final game, but we'll have to see what Urban can do here if he can wrestle back this set. But Bloom absolutely looking to take this away. And again, yeah, we saw it there. Just Bloom, absolutely insane stuff.
How do they know? How do they know? Like, he wasn't rolling before, but like he just stood roll distance and was like, okay, here I am. They're gonna roll, and sure enough,
Just Bloom's absolute awareness to just know what positions his opponents are in is absolutely insane. And again there, we saw him just going for the absolute deep edge guard. Urban had no jump, there was no chance of him coming back.
and look at this lead. I mean, now Urban's starting to get more damage on the board here. 72% currently on Bloom's first stock. But again, like, somehow Bloom manages to find these scenarios where, like, even if they're not super, if they're in neutral, really, really good at getting UrbanTurban to the ledge. Just in any particular scenario. Low percent, high percent, you name it.
And now Urban trying to battle away this Arsene again. It is nearly gone, so nearly away with it. But Forty still not able to take the stock away from Bloom just yet. They're still trying to find that one hit they need. Meanwhile, Bloom again just holding the stage down. He knows he can do as much as he likes, and again there, just absolutely covering everything in that moment. There was nothing that Urban could actually do to get around that. Just those two back airs, covering high, covering low.
Covering the air dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so strong. And now 2 stocks up. I mean, we've seen UrbanTurban try going for these edge guards, but especially in the later games of these sets, they've not quite been connected. Whether these be these forward airs, these really low back airs, of course, Lucina loves to go for. And really, I think it is not... They need it. They need it at this point to get back into this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a very, very tough position for Urban to be in. They are still trying to find even just one stock away from Bloom. Meanwhile, they're just trying not to take too much damage themselves. But there we go. Good actual pummel on Bloom there. Just trying to wear down that meter just by a little bit. And we saw that we gasped a little bit as these outposts are still not taking away the stock. But finally, Urban finding the hit they needed to get that stock away.
At 170, like mid-rage, that didn't kill on Joker? Yeah, buff Lucina, bro. Like, no.
Yeah, let's yeah, I don't know if I can manage that one, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, more so, let's not do the Joker.
I like that idea.
But regardless,
Yeah.
well, exactly. At this point, it is certainly looking like a nerf Bloom situation because they are just holding this down, and Urban again trying to find these hits, but Bloom is just not giving them, just hopping over these shields, and then the Terror cancel on the up B to hit that back air, and Bloom taking that set 3-1 over UrbanTurban and moving on into that winners finals spot.
I think it's safe to say that that set, past Game 2, got more dominant as the set progressed. Game 2, UrbanTurban did really, really well, but the more you start missing those edge guards, the more that, you see these early stocks from Joker get taken. I mean, the more you're going to fall behind. Yeah. And inevitably, when you fall behind versus Bloom's got the sauce.
And exactly as you said, I mean, Bloom just a player that really just capitalizes upon each and every bit of advantage they have, and it's exactly what we saw there. Unfortunately, it was a case of Urban just losing that neutral, falling into disadvantage, and then just Bloom taking them for an absolute ride there. But still, really good stuff to Urban. They are still gonna be in the losers bracket, so still got a shot at a one back later. But I think Bloom going to be in our winners finals.
Yeah, Bloom winners finals. And following up from that, I believe if we are doing the other side of winners top 8, that's going to be GP versus... Craftmaster, yes. Contrary to what you may have believed, given if you looked at the seeding at all, Pelly's in losers, Jaxter's in losers.
Yeah, and actually, that is a really good chance to talk about kind of just how interesting this bracket has been today. And I think possibly the main story that has come out of bracket has been, once again, we are seeing another example of an EOE takeover. East of England taking over bracket. They have 5 people from EOE in top 8.
I mean,
5.
I mean, we're like the west. We are the western part of East of England, right? But we still got to rep our people, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely no bias in the comms, by the way. But GP better win. But you know what I'm saying.
Whoa, okay, hang on a minute now.
Look, we're gonna give them both the fair shake. I mean, Craftmaster been absolutely killing it over the past year. You've seen them in top 8s of like Lockdown. You've seen them all over the place. Fantastic Steve. / Bowser Jr. by the way, I'm pretty sure. Bowser Jr. pretty, on point as well. Versus GP. What else do we need to say about GP?
Exactly. I mean, GP, a name that kind of, has always proven himself, through his brackets. Of course, runs absolutely incredible weeklies in Cambridge, the Tea Time weeklies. So he's a great TO in his own right, but also just a great player in his own right, having taken just wins across the board. And again, today finding himself in the winner's side of bracket after an exceptional run in Wave, to get to this point. But I was just going to say, with Craftmaster, it's certainly someone that I think is probably one of the most interesting stories in Smash UK. Someone that kind of did just spring up during the Wi-Fi era and certainly found their home with Steve. And now finding himself in this top 8, facing off against the very kind of best of the UK. They have reached this pedestal, and when a lot of people probably would overlook them.
Yeah, it's very much the new guard versus the old guard here.
Yes, absolutely.
And let's not take anything away from GP. As you said, absolutely phenomenal run today. He only went and beat RAMBOSS, So, I mean, Ike Samus seems pretty dire for the Ikes involved. But, I mean, it's GP's patient play, man. GP does not commit to literally anything. Except for bringing the East England flag everywhere he goes. Sorry, you laughed at that. That means the comms is good. And so overall, I would say that GP's patient play is going to get tested. Because guess who loves to play patient? Steve.
Exactly. Now, this, as you say, this is going to be interesting though, because, what we're going to be seeing here is Ike trying to deal with just the fact that Steve as a character inherently does not necessarily like to engage. They like to wall themselves up. They will mine for materials quite happily. They don't need to necessarily approach you. They will wait for you to approach them, and then they will punish you for it. So this could be really interesting, as Ike is very much a character that needs to be upfront in your face.
Yeah, they need to be winning, otherwise they are losing hard. Frame 4 air dodge, just like a lot of the super heavies in the game, but of course, Ike doesn't have that much weight. But getting into it here we are, the other side of winners semis. GP Craftmaster, back on PS2 for game 1.
Yeah, again, as we said before, this is just a very, very neutral stage for a lot of characters. So, both these players just quite happy to go here. And already, actually, Rosa, we could talk about what a start this has been for GP. Again, we talked about the fact that, Steve as a character does not need to engage. And kind of this is what we're seeing with them kind of retreating a fair bit, and, just mining away from materials. But actually, GP, of course, using characters that can very much, once he's in there, he will tick back on as much damage as he can. And certainly he is just not letting Craftmaster have any chance to mine for materials. He's just going to be in their face constantly.
Yeah, I mean, already I think GP's picked up on the fact that Craftmaster likes to use a lot of those kind of get out of the corner options, those up Bs, those side Bs that you see from every Steve player that gets them back into the neutral. And I mean, I think GP's advantage state has been really, really good. But I mean, when you've got options like Steve and when you've got Diamond, this is a very even game indeed.
Yeah, and again, you have to watch out for that side beat as well as that minecart. Not only a command grab, but also it just hits hard. And GP finding it out very quickly. But the block placement there, absolutely perfect for Craftmaster, and he does avoid death so narrowly from that back air.
I mean, oh my goodness me, 25% already from 3 up tilts with Diamond. Brilliant dash attack there from GP, catching the kind of get out of the corner options. And I think if GP really wants to take this set, we need to see a better catching of those get out of the corners. I mean, he's been hit by minecart quite a few times here. Ike's got to counter. And I mean, that minecart's pretty powerful, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's interesting really because what we actually seen from Craftmaster as well is them using that up B quite a lot. It's certainly not the quickest up B in the world, but what we're kind of seeing from Craftmaster is almost as an out of shield option, which is not something you'd expect, but doesn't matter if you're going to get hits with that diamond back air, which is exactly what we saw from Craftmaster, and now using this diamond gear to absolute full potential. GP trying to whack it away, trying to get rid of it as quickly as he can, but Craftmaster just using this diamond as much as he physically can do.
And this is actually something that I've just noticed about the matchup, is that Ike, or at least GP in this case, is always disengaging as soon as he gets the nair, and because he knows if he can't follow it up, there's a back air waiting for him. And Steve Steve down air, incredibly powerful. Oh my goodness, barely hanging on to the ether there, but already 100% on GP. He needs to find the stop pretty quickly.
Yeah, no upbeat, no, and Craftmaster falls out of it, but finally GP lands that back air, gets rid of the crafting table as well, which will force Craftmaster to place a new one, but we see the TNT come out, but the ledge invincibility will save them. Fortunately for GP, just hanging on for dear life, but they've got to get something going here, as Craftmaster has not taken even a single lick of damage.
Yeah, we are going to be pretty close to getting diamond, I think, here for Craftmaster. And I mean, Craftmaster doesn't need the diamond to get a crazy amount of damage. But speaking of, another minecart there. We saw a couple of those stocks taken by the minecart in that game. And so maybe a few overcommits from GP. We'll see, Craftmaster taking game one in a phenomenal fashion.
Yeah, again, I mean, that's IB just coming out and such a strong move just in its own right. Of course, command grab hits hard. I mean, it does everything. I mean, it probably washes your laundry and, cooks meals as well. Honestly, it does absolutely everything that you would ever want from a move.
You got any more hands, bro? Because
honestly, I mean, I kind of,
I've run out.
We're slowly running out, but
yeah, we need some help.
Just a phenomenal move. And again, we are going to see a Craftmaster just using it as much as they can do, because why not? It is so non-committal as well.
Really impressed with them though, and because Steve is a stubby character, right? That's supposed to be one of Steve's weaknesses, that they don't have a lot of range. But Craftmaster has been showing that, when I get in, I'm going to make you take 70, and you're just going to have to deal with it. And when you have an advantage state like that, you're in winners side top 8 of a regional in Lincoln.
Exactly. Again, we see there another example of, unfortunately, Craftmaster just falling out of that ether. GP is definitely not going to want it, but they're just trying to find these few straight hits. And have you noticed, for the barely taken any damage, for the long part of that hadn't even taken a single drop. And now Craftmaster's starting to find the hits, but GP just trying to regain control here. They want to take a quick stock away.
Yeah, catching on maybe to some of those get out of the corner options, but also again, like a big sword. As you can see, that a brilliant forward air means that recovery or trying to get back into center stage gets caught. And now you're on the ledge versus Ike. What's your option? That's an up B. That's going to get heavily punished.
Yeah, really unfortunate for GP, but what is unfortunate is that back air coming out and taking away Craftmaster's stock. And GP now in a good position to take a convincing lead here. Going to make it back. Good weight on the air dodge as well. Didn't want to immediately do it just in case Craftmaster was going to be there. Now GP just playing it so carefully, trying to find these hits. That shield is looking low, Voss, and GP going to have to be really careful now.
Getting around the spot dodge smash attack there really well, but a fantastic back air catching them out of the quick draw. Craftmaster, I mean, only takes a single back air. And there you go, Diamond Tools putting in their worth. And again, another diamond there, repairing them already.
Exactly, so now GP going to have to be aware that that diamond is on deck and can come out at any moment. And indeed, it is already out and doing its job. Certainly get all this damage going as well. Oh my god!
I mean, I thought GP was in the lead at the beginning of this game. Oh, sweet mama, that's a nair up there. Holy moly, he's only at a 50 full deficit now. What happened?
That is exactly what we want to see from GP here. Of course, Ike, a character that very much does just benefit off its own neutral. You find that one there, and you can definitely get some KOs, and that's exactly what GP is looking for. Now in a good position to try and back on as much damage as they physically can. That dash attack comes as well, just catching Craftmaster barely.
Yeah, I feel like GP has been slightly off in some of these punishes. Like, maybe it wasn't enough of the gas that he needed coming into this last stock, that Nair up air. But I mean, Ike can kill pretty early. So if he gets one big read, Craftmaster should be very, very careful.
Yeah, and Craftmaster landing that forward smash as well, taking away that stock, but GP still in a good position here. They just need to find a few of those hits, and they're going to get it there. Nair into forward air. This is now starting to look quite scary for Craftmaster as they need to start playing very carefully. GP still at 0 on their last stock.
Yeah, and I mean, half of the Ike matchup, right, is dealing with Nair. And it seems like Craftmaster's way of dealing with Nair is just sitting in shield and waiting for GP to land on them. And it's been very, very good, because when you're Steve, you have mega out of shield options. So, especially with Diamond Tools, yeah, he needs to be careful, does GP.
Yeah, but of course, speaking of careful, Craftmaster definitely going to be needing that good weight on GP as well. Just narrowly missing that grab. Definitely had the right idea then. Yeah, was in Craftmaster's head and in a good position to take this game with that dash attack coming out. And we all know how strong that move is. And GP on the board now, back in this set.
Man ran half stage and dash attacked. East England. What can I say? East England. But I mean, calling out the kind of weight. You know, I mean, when you are playing against Steve, Steve demands a lot of respect. And so mixing up that respect with Nair, I'm running in there with one of the most powerful dash attacks in the game.
Absolutely.
That's going to do it.
And I mean, I've seen so many instances today of actually, GP and other people playing Ike, just that dash attack really just coming in clutch. We saw an example in doubles earlier with Wheatley and Mashi facing off against Thor and Bobby. Again, Wheatley finding that dash attack in an extremely clutch last hit situation. Just such a strong move, and you can throw it out without too much risk. That's what we saw there, especially with GP being at low percent damage as well. He can throw it out. If it hits, it wins the game. If it misses, he'll maybe take a little bit of damage. Not too much of an issue.
Here we are, game 3 here on Town City this time. We're changing the stage up a little bit. I mean, after both of them have won, I mean, if there is modified DSR, then, well, here we are. So, we're not going back to PS2.
Yeah, now Craftmaster really actually playing a bit more defensively in this game. You're seeing kind of them engaging a little bit more, just opting kind of like get these few straight hits rather than running into GP's face. Maybe picking up on the fact that, they don't actually want to box Ike. They have the tools to really just keep them away. So, that's what they're going to use. They're going to make sure they just get some straight hits and then find, But of course, speaking of straight hits, we talked about it in the last game. But again, GP just finding those few hits, and it's all you need. One Nair into an up air. GP in the lead.
I was really surprised when Craftmaster looked at that eruption and went, yeah, I'm going to get off of ledge. But, I mean, GP missed it, but he's not missing those Nair up air confirms. I mean, if there's, Ike Playbook 101, there they are. And now it is time to extend that advantage. Why do I say things?
Exactly. Yeah, again, that side B just coming out. We already talked about how strong that move is. And oh my god, huge damage there from a very small combo from Craftmaster. Exactly what they needed there to get back in. Essentially evened up things with about 3 hits.
I was going to say, do you remember when, like, 10 seconds ago when GP had like a 60% lead, and then Steve was like, actually, no. Yeah, me neither. Because now, I mean, GP's lead is only about 30%. And if Steve gets, one conversion, that could be it. And I mean, even though, Craftmaster is down now, most certainly not out.
Exactly, GP definitely going to be careful here. He is going to be wanting to tack on as much free damage as he can, while, still hanging on to this second start. But Craftmaster definitely on the hunt now to find this stock away, and certainly they're going to need it as they do reach a pretty high threshold 58. But an up smash coming out, just getting in GP's head there.
What an air dodge read that was. I mean, Craftmaster clearly, that's what makes you win his top 8 of an event like this. They are keeping a really good track of, okay, these are the habits that they have, these are the kind of situations where they do X, Y, and Z option, so I know that they're going to be here. And I mean, catching them with the up smash is exactly what they need to get back into this game. GP keeps, he has a lead, and then he just keeps losing it because Craftmaster knows exactly how to deal with the damage to make it even again.
Yeah, this is actually starting to look quite scary for both, but again, no, not quite. That up there, not going to do it just yet, but the forward air into the minecart, certainly going to do it. No invincibility this time, you are done. And now GP up 2-1 in this set.
And that is the difference, ladies and gentlemen, between GP trying to catch the minecart out of the corner and failing and then taking like 80 or like 50, 80, whatever, and him actually doing the proper spacing, finding the right timing and getting the punish.
Yeah.
Because Ike's aerials are strong. I mean, forward air doesn't kill like it used to in the last game, but it's still very, very good. And finding that forward air to get Craftmaster out of the minecart, brilliant stuff from GP, 2-1 up.
Exactly, yeah, this is a good position for GP to be in here. As we do hop into this game 4, we're going to be choosing the characters. Now, you have to wonder, are we... No! Interesting. I was just about to say, are we still going to see the Steve? But actually, no. We are seeing a change up here from Craftmaster. No longer Craftmaster, going back to the old tag of Boiling, pulling out that Roy to battle against GP's Ike, potentially to get themselves into a game 5 position.
Okay, that makes more sense. I saw Roy and I was like, hang on a minute, I didn't know they played Swordies. And so, yes, of course, the former main here, before the DLC Pack 2 came out, Bowser Jr., maybe has a little bit more in terms of setups on the ledge. Of course, you've got Mecha Cooper, you've got Cannonball. There are most certainly options for Bowser Jr. in this matchup, but of course, big sword, big disjoints, and better combos. Ike has a lot in this matchup too.
Exactly, and again, we're now just seeing here again, a more sort of defensive play from Craftmaster, actually, as they are sort of just trying to keep away from GP and finding those stray hits. But GP not deterred in the slightest and gonna punish that up B, that high up B with that forward air, which just covers everything. And again, we're seeing examples of GP just catching these Mecha Coopers as well and just throwing them back at Craftmaster's face.
Yeah, of course, you can shield Mecha Cooper. When it hits your shield, it kind of goes like dead, and then you can pick it up. And I mean, you've been seeing that. Oh my goodness, what a bait! I was so good. I was talking about the shielding. Shields the Mecha Cooper, expects to, just pick it up, but Craftmaster, right in the face with the side B into the up B. That was so good from them.
Exactly. I mean, that was absolutely perfect. And we're seeing examples of just Craftmaster finding those kind of stray hits from the Mecha Coopers. If they land, they know exactly where to place themselves to get the most amount of damage. They've landed these back airs, these forward airs, getting these kills with them. Again, just almost using the Mecha Coopers as just an intimidation factor as well. Just the fact that it is on the ground, it is walking around, so GP's got to watch their footing.
And yeah, I mean, GP has to watch his footing, but at the same time, he's also a stock up. Look, I mean, Craftmaster has been able to get these back, right? We have seen this time and time again how they've been brilliant at shortening the distance, closing the gap. But now with Bowser Jr., which, isn't Steve, the crazy combos aren't, there as much they are with Steve. It is going to be, I think, a little bit more difficult for Craftmasters to fight their way out from the deficit.
And indeed, as GP gets more and more of these hits in, it becomes so much more difficult for Craftmaster to make this comeback. They need to take this stock away if they want to keep this winner's side bracket dream alive. But GP looking to just end it all. One nair will do it. One neutral air into an up air will certainly do it. He does find a neutral air, but waiting it out instead. Not going to risk too much. It doesn't need to. Again, just playing so defensively here.
Yeah, it gets the up throw. Normally, a lot of Ikes like to try and combo that into like an up air or try to read an air dodge or something. GP just staying grounded. They know that they're one stock away from making winners finals, so they're playing like it. And I mean, that patience, so hard to challenge, but it's not over.
Yeah. Craftmaster saying, no, this isn't over just yet. I will find this win. I will get these hits in. And now they just need to play carefully, and they could keep this bracket dream alive. But GP still so close to taking it. They just need to find a few stray hits, and it will be all over for Craftmaster.
I mean, I think we really need to see an edge guard. If there is an area where Ike is weakest, it is on the ledge. But in the neutral, that is a dash attack. GP going to winners finals. East of England popping off alongside GP. Wowee. I mean, what a fantastic set. 3-1 to GP. That is an Ike for Bloom to take on in winners finals.
And indeed, who could have seen us coming? Well, GP in winners final will be facing off against Bloom later on in bracket. Definitely going to be feeling happy about that one. A guaranteed third place in this very stacked regional.
Absolutely. So, oh my goodness me, I'm lost for words. I was going to look directly into the camera and just go, East England.
At this point, that is what it is.
East England, right? Look at that. They have been playing so well. And I mean, one after another, they're falling. Everyone else. The North, I mean, you had UrbanTurban, right? But now, I mean, is Bloom from London or closer to London?
Bloom is EOE.
Bloom is EOE as well.
This is what we're saying. There are 5
the
people
EOE
in
Grand
top
Finals.
8.
Get the flag up here. Put it around your... I don't know.
Exactly.
The Wilford Winners Finals. There we go. Brilliant behaviour.
Not over yet. Of course, EOE looking very good. A potential chance to have an all-finals EOE bracket, but still a lot of bracket left to go. That was just winner's side. Now we're going to be dipping down into that loser's side because we've got to start knocking out some players.
Oh my goodness.
And
the upset players that were meant to be in winners, people like RAMBOSS, people like Pelly, and some people who weren't expecting to make top 8, people like Bengus, for example.
Yes.
Bengus, cracked run, beating Stranger, that's what we're talking about, Bengus, and another East of England player as well.
Yeah,
Woo.
I mean, Bengus is definitely, I think, the star of the show today, honestly. A player that absolutely no one expected to make top 8, but as you say, making an absolutely cracked run, beating Stranger to get into top 8, huge pop-off on them, and I mean, deserved, because what, just absolutely insane, taking down a player of Stranger's caliber, getting to top 8, no one could have seen that coming. I don't think Bengus was even seeded to finish 9th. I think he was seeded to finish before that, I think 17th, but now he's in top 8, and potentially fighting for a chance to move even further up. Get that 5th, go even further. It's a good day for EOE.
It is a good day for EOE. Because who's left, right, from non-EOE? It is UrbanTurban.
Yes.
If RAMBOSS is London, then RAMBOSS.
Yep.
And Pelly?
No, Pelly is EOE.
Pelly is EOE as well,
it's just
damn.
Craftmaster. It is 3 people.
And Craftmaster, of course. Yeah,
it's Craftmaster, RAMBOSS, and Urban as the only 3 people not from EOE in this top 8. It is definitely looking like a takeover. And again, I just have to think back to Invasion. It was the last big national that we had, the first UK offline national that we had. And what did we see there? Grand Finals. Bloom versus Loogie. Where are they both from?
EOE, baby!
EOE.
That's what we're talking about.
Honestly, EOE, I think, for quite a while now, it's just really starting to show that they are indeed one of the strongest scenes in the UK, if not the very strongest. They've got some absolutely insane players. I was talking to GP literally earlier about, kind of just the number of absolutely incredible players that are starting to just spring out the floorboards. We got, obviously, what they consider the top 4. They've got Jaxter, they've got Bloom, they've got Pelly, they've got Loogie. But then you also got to think about, they've got GP, as we just saw. They've got Logue.
Respect.
They've got Respect, they've got Kylef, they've got, all these absolutely insane players. And more that we haven't even mentioned,
Yeah.
And honestly, EOA really just starting to show that they are the ones to watch out for because they will absolutely tear up your brackets. They've got such a strong family spirit as well. Every single person in EOA definitely, sort of connected with each other. They will support each other to the end of the earth.
He's talking about me.
I was talking about
No, but I mean, you heard the pop-offs in the crowd, right? One EOE player wins, and everybody's going bananas out in the back there. It's just, it's so nice to see the support for these players because they work hard. They grind their butts off, and here they are. And I mean, speaking of EOE, it's going to be Jaxter versus
Craftmaster again.
Craftmaster.
Yes. So actually, I just wanted to pull up the bracket so we can just give some updates as to what happened off screen.
Yeah, losers 8s might have already been played.
Yes, so we did indeed have the loser 8s off screen. So while that was all going on, so indeed, and there were some interesting results going on here. RAMBOSS beating Pelly 3-1. So actually, that is the first EOE player to go down, which is most interesting. And actually, again, unfortunately, we talk so much about EOE, but actually, another sad result in, of course, we see them sitting down right now, but Jaxter taking down Bengus in 3-1. So Bengus taking that game, but unfortunately, falling short to the legendary Falco.
I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, Bengus already outplayed his seed, right? Well, we'll just give him that. He did really well. I mean, Jaxter might be number 1 of England, you know what I'm saying? He gives me the thumbs up. And that, I mean, that was expected, right? Jaxter winning that. RAMBOSS over Pelly. Especially when they played so, like, not too long ago, either at the Meltdown that they were all invited to. And Pelly won that, remember?
Yes.
Wow, I don't remember the last time that Pelly was out at, like, 7th at a tournament like this.
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, Pelly to fall short in the very start of losers of top 8. Definitely not something you expect. But, here we go. This is your losers quarters set. It is between Jaxter and Craftmaster, as of course we just saw Craftmaster not too long ago, but now it's up to Jaxter to see if they can finish what GP started. Yeah,
BC Jaxter, by the way. I just want to throw that out there because we have a little like inside joke going. We've got to love the tag here from Jaxter, but of course, I'm going to let you in on something smart. Jaxter woke up this morning and he said, guys, I have had an epiphany. I had a dream of me in Grand beating Bloom with Falco. And he's been talking a lot about Pyromithra recently, right? He's been playing a lot of Pyromithra, doing really, really well. But the Falco's back out, and I mean, maybe it's a bit like Schultz today. Is that vision? Oh, I mean, I was going to say the vision might be coming true. But look at that first stop from Craftmaster, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll have to see if it was an epiphany or if it was just false dream, false illusion for Jackson here. But certainly, Craftmaster not going to be wanting to go down here after a loss against GP mere moments ago as well. They want to prove something. They want to prove that they can still go far in this bracket. And certainly, Jaxter now got to battle through this incredibly strong Steve player. Yeah, already we're seeing here of actually just Craftmasters are playing this much more differently than when they faced GP. Kind of very much more defensively, placing down those blocks that actually they're more acting as an interruption rather than kind of a blockade or anything like that. They are stopping these side Bs coming out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the reason for that is because, Steve now has the disjoints. Falco does not have like any massive disjoints to speak of. Aside from the down tilt, of course, is going to be taking the stock. But of course, that means that the approaches from Craftmaster, and especially like putting up that wall, is going to be so much better. Cut into forward smash, and I think this is a really good matchup for Steve now I think about it.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be, I think from the start, Jackson knew this was going to be a tough matchup, but indeed, what we saw there is an unfortunate case of, if you get caught by that side B, by that minecart, you are going to be stuck in it, and if it's going slowly as well with no rails on the road, then Steve can just walk up and just forward smash, and that will just do it. But Jaxter not taking a line down there, taking a very, very quick stop there, and actually evening up the game in a good position now.
I was going to say, like, speaking of things getting back on track and, putting the train into full gear, look at Jaxter. I mean, what a fantastic, combo into a great advantage state. Now a very, very even game. Just don't get jabbed, Jaxter. If you get jabbed, you're going to get carried across the stage and you're going to get forwarded, so...
Exactly, yeah, but that shield getting real low there for Jaxter. They're going to have to watch out. They're going to need to wait a while before they can. Trying to get that side B going as well, but here we go. Big damage coming out. Goes for that up to the back air, but not going to land it just yet. Not quite the right percentages, but it's definitely getting close. The up end nearly taking it as well.
Yeah, of course, Falco's combo game needs no introduction anymore. Like, up tilt, potentially a back air there! And East of England takes game 1. There you go.
And there we go. I mean, we talked about it mere seconds ago. Up tilt back air, one of the strongest confirms in the game. So potent, and indeed, Jaxter landing one up tilt. They knew that in the back air. They will get that game. And indeed, wrestling it away from Craftmaster.
I don't even think it was necessarily just adaptation that made the comeback there. I think it was Jaxter's advantage state. Finally getting the combo, especially in stock 2, then getting the 60% or whatever, and then just one offstage interaction, drop forward air. That's it.
Yep.
We've seen Craftmaster consistently get punished for those trying to escape out of the corner, and now I think Jaxter's starting to play around that, figure things out, and I mean, Jaxter does have Steve experience with Nez, and now, game 2, let's see if Craftmaster can adapt.
Yeah, and I think you may notice something
hang on a minute.
very interesting here, something even I wasn't aware about. The Craftmaster Kazuya coming out. This is interesting.
We are in unknown territory here, Smart. I am not aware of the Kazuya from Craftmaster. I hope they know the confirms, because taking on somebody like Jaxter is, you can't bring out your tertiaries for that.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is very, very interesting here, but, Kazuya, a character that is still slowly being figured out, so there is still that kind of character sort of matchup, uncertainty to it. So if Jaxter's not careful, they could suddenly, find their stocks just being obliterated. Kazuya, one of the hardest hitting characters in this game, you can just find your stocks just evaporated. Indeed.
Because part of that is Rage Drive. I was about to say, they're basically even percent if he gets the down B. Or if Kazuya gets the down B. But, I mean, they're charging the F smash, that's going to lead into a kill. Jaxter seemingly unstoppable here. Oh, gets the kick. I mean, Craftmaster needs to find the kill. If only, they were playing a character that has good kill power and all that.
So, this is kind of what we're seeing actually, sort of Craftmaster not necessarily finding the right hits, the right confirms to get these kills. Kazuya definitely a character that does not struggle killing, but right now Craftmaster is really struggling just to find the hits they need, and certainly this is Kazuya's weakness. Indeed, if they can't find the hits, they are not going to get anything from it, and Jaxter just going to keep taking these small drips of damage and finding these stocks.
That's all they need. That's all Jaxter needs, really. Falco is one of those characters which, has a super good advantage state for how slow they are, especially. And Kazuya is so polarizing. If you get the hit, that's a 0 to death. That's a 0 to 70. If you're getting hit, all you've got is basically down B to even out those, or to try and get the hit, normally. And I mean, if you're somebody like Jaxter, you know how to avoid that. You know how to do this. And I mean, you don't know how to avoid that. But look at the lead that's been built up here.
Yeah, I mean, that Gates of Hell just coming out there and, of course, going to obliterate that stock. The percentage of Jaxter was nowhere to 11, but Jaxter's still in a great position here to take this set. Craftmaster just now and they make it bad. That rage does come out, that would be good damage for them, but they probably can't rely on it to, get a kill or anything like that. They just need to find the damage, and Jaxter's not giving it to them, and certainly not giving them the game. Jaxter going 2-0 up in this set.
The vision. The vision is happening in front of our eyes, potentially. Again, I just think it was a poor choice from Craftmaster, if I'm honest. Adaption may be more likely to be on the cards, more likely that Steve is so powerful. I mean, they're at top 6 regional here.
Absolutely. No, with the Kazuya pick, I think it was kind of that sort of delving into the realms of the unknown, potentially seeing, like, can this work? Can I potentially, sort of confuse my opponent enough, that maybe they don't have the matchup knowledge, to potentially kind of bamboozle them in a way, see, if we can actually take a few stocks, take the games because they don't know the character, but, not paying off in this instance, so we are seeing them go back to this Steve, the tried and tested, now going to try and take this game weight and get themselves on the board.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more looking for resources and looking for jab, because here's the thing about this matchup, right? Steve's jab in this matchup against, like, Spaceys in general, so good. Like, I have seen jab forward smash. And I know, like, Falco isn't, like, as super fast-fally as Fox, but they still get hit by it, and it's so ridiculous. So Steve has the ability in this matchup to make it back from a deficit and to get those kind of crazy combos on Falco. It's just whether or not do we see them.
Absolutely, and I mean, already we're actually just seeing a kind of similar shade of what we saw in Game 1, with Craftmaster really just controlling the neutral here, and indeed finding that up smash, taking the stock away. Craftmaster in a good position here, but Jaxter going to need to turn up a gear that they did in that Game 1 and find these hits, but the diamond gear is out and the damage is starting to rise.
And I mean, you see Jaxter running off those platforms, right? That's what ultimately got him killed for the last stock. And yeah, I mean, falling there with Falco is so good because you get everything out of it. But catching that minecart out of the corner with an up smash, Jaxter attempting to even it out here. 63% is still quite the deficit. But, that's one Falco combo, isn't it?
Exactly, but Craftmaster in a good position here, not even taking a single drop of damage, and indeed getting a bit more as well with that block placement there, and the anvil going to drop on that poor chicken's head. Going to leave a nasty bump in the morning.
Yeah, that was just a really... Oh, hang on a minute. No, okay, we're good. Yeah, really nice recognition from Craftmaster. Stalling, of course, Steve in the air does that down air. And that, mixes up the timings, makes Jaxter, catches him off guard. And it takes the stock, so really good stuff.
And I mean, again, we're now just seeing, like, another case of Craftmaster just controlling everything. Jaxter trying to find these hits, but Craftmaster is always just on track. You know, he sees these few hits and he gets them, and he takes them to the full potential that he can. But a good up air there, not quite taking it just yet, surprisingly. Not going to do it for Jaxter. You know, still trying to find a second stock, but certainly holding down their advantage quite well. They are trying to find a stock. Craftmaster escaping with that up B.
Yeah. Oh my goodness me.
Oh!
Yeah, man was hitting the creepers outside the house through the wooden planks that it was built from, you know? Like, that's like hitting the, you know, it's like building a house that you just saw there, ladies and gentlemen, and going, nah, yeah, if there's a skeleton out there.
Absolutely unbelievable. I was not even aware that they could hit it through like that, but Craftmaster teaching me new things by the day. You know, that forward smash coming out, I think Jaxter catching Jaxter by surprise as well. Yeah. You know, finally getting themselves on the board though. This is what they needed. You know, they did not want to go down 3-1, but Jaxter's still in a good position here.
And you know what it is though that Craftmaster's doing? I think it's a little bit of camping. We're seeing those, you know, variations of the blocks keeping Jaxter out, being a little bit different every time. And every time it's different, you know, Jaxter's got to find a new way to get through, to get in, and to ultimately get their damage. And, you know, Steve has so much power when you're the one trying to approach, you know. Fantastic anti-airs, fantastic combos. It's leaving Jaxter in a little bit of a tizzy.
No, absolutely. I mean, you know, what we're seeing as well is, you know, example, when Craftmaster was facing GP, you know, I think the kind of quite decisive factor was the fact that we didn't actually see kind of much defensive play from Craftmaster. It very much felt like they were trying to box GP, you know, trying to box a sword character, which never really ends well for the character that's trying to do it against the swordie. And in this case, you know, what we saw in game one and, you know, in early games as well is, you know, again, Craftmaster trying to, you know, be up front with Falco, who really likes to be up in your face. And now that we're seeing this kind of very much more defensive play, Craftmaster is really surviving much, much longer, you know, getting those hits, not risking too much.
Yeah, and of course, the more and more that happens, the more frustrating Steve, you know, becomes to potentially play against up tilt back air. Gonna even out the stocks. Again, I thought, you know, Craftmaster was doing really, really well, and then Jaxter gets one Falco combo, and I'm sitting there going like, yeah, well, where's the up tilt back air at? Like, that's all they need.
Absolutely, and I mean, you know, each and every single time as well, we do see that up tilt back air come out, you know, getting those kills, and Jaxter just never missing a single beat. You know, really just knows that, you know, in this kind of matchup, they really cannot afford to drop anything at any instant. You know, if they get their hands on Steve, they need to take it. You know, they need to take it to the absolute ends of the earth.
And I can't help but notice that very similar to the game with GP that we saw earlier, it's all in those catching, you know, catching the minecart, catching the up Bs sort of things. When Jaxter is doing well on the ledge, it's when he's catching those minecarts. But when he's getting hit by them, I mean, Craftmaster is taking as much, you know, give foot, take a mile, or at least 5, you know, if you're Steve.
Yeah, now Jaxter still getting these hits, and the backer comes out as well. Just a stray backer hits. Now just one stock away from potentially moving on in this top 8. Craftmaster trying to find this stock now though, but Jaxter getting these hits in, 37% already.
One Falco combo. We're just waiting for the next one. 2 Falco combos, ladies and gentlemen, and at 80% already, basically. You know, Jaxter is doing super, super well, but of course, Craftmaster. Oh,
and there
baby!
we go, and a pop-off as well from Jaxter with the spike landing, and Jaxter takes the win over Craftmaster 3-1, moving on in this loser side top 8 into loser semi. The EOE players are still alive, they are still kicking.
Team BC! Nah, really well done, but that's one more non-East of England player out.
Exactly, the takeover, the all EOE player bracket started to look more and more real as time goes on. This is starting to look very, very scary. Of course, you know, there's still, I think, one hope left. Just one.
It's RAMBOSS.
It's just RAMBOSS. Actually, I do need to check, you know, I think Urban actually might be still alive. We're going to give a few back.
Oh yeah, of course, Urban.
Yes.
Can't forget about the deed.
Yes, it was 3 people. Oh no, so actually we do have a few updates to the bracket.
No, we did not have a non-East of England team kill.
Yes, so
indeed.
if you're not following at home the brackets, then yes, just to give you an update. So a few games were played off stream while we were having that one, and indeed we did see a opportunity again where unfortunately the 2 final players that were not EOE had to take each other out, and RAMBOSS taking it 3-1. Indeed, now going to sit down to face off against Jaxter in this losers semi-final match. The final non-EOE player, the only hope of stopping
carrying the
top
torch
4 EOE.
Oh god, it is top 4 EOE potentially that we're looking at.
So
RAMBOSS has got a lot to do, what can I say?
And if you cast your mind back as well to Invasion, GP said that if, he saw a top 3 EOE bracket, he would make a big event, a kind of a regional scale event in Cambridge, And now what we're seeing here again is another example where we might be seeing a top 4.
This is loser
EOE.
semis.
Yes.
But it's loser semis. So top and RAMBOSS isn't EOE.
Yes.
So it's
actually,
not a top 4.
No, it's not a top 4. It's already a top 4. But
hold your horses east of England, alright?
But no, that's still a scary decision to me because, EOE top 3.
True. EOE top 3. Potentially.
EOE top 3, yes. The bracket is definitely starting to wind down now. It is looking very interesting.
Yeah, the sun is setting on the tournament. We've still got a bit to go, there's still a lovely sunset to view. But it is most certainly going down. We could be in the twilight of this tournament very, very soon.
Oh, so actually, interesting, we are going to be seeing a switch around.
There
we're not
it
going to
is.
see, yes. We're actually not going to have RAMBOSS Jaxter. We are going to have instead our winners finals. I think you can twist those, GP. I think you can twist those white things, but...
Yeah, I've got nowhere to put it on, so...
Bringing out the EOE flag for this winners finals.
Say,
Indeed, that's what we're going to see.
Get one of EOE to just hold it.
Their arms will hurt.
There we go. So yes, we are going to be hopping into this winners finals between GP and Bloom. And again, we talk about it so much. We talk about Invasion. We're going to talk about it here. New God, old God.
New God,
GP,
old God.
very much an old God. Kind of one of the founding members of Smash UK. Been around since inception.
Stone Age, really, yeah.
Stone Age. Absolutely, he's absolutely ancient, everyone. But
he's gonna hate me so much for saying that.
of course, Bloom.
We're talking about how long you've been around, and I said, he's been around since the Stone Age, mate. East England.
East of England. No, but just, of course, GP, a player that has been around kind of, through the games, all the way since, Brawl, Smash 4, Ultimate, been a face that has always appeared in the top part of the bracket since start. But Bloom, someone that we kind of saw, sort of murmurs of in Smash 4, that was starting to rise up here. They did very well in the UKIE Championship finals, They managed to make it through to the pro bracket. Didn't make it too far into bracket, but they did make it through the LCQ to get into that pro bracket. But, of course now, as we've sort of come back to offline, Bloom, again, now potentially sitting in an opportunity where they could be moving on to the grand finals, and, not only did they win Invasion, they are in a position where they could win Canal Clash as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, Bloom won Invasion. And that's all, such a big, check mark against their name. GP is, of course, very familiar with Bloom, right? They both go to tea time.
Yes.
This is a, familiar matchup here. But it doesn't make it any less kind of grand. It doesn't, dissuade or kind of put down the players at all. And it seems like we're going to once again be seeing the Joker here from Bloom.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Again, the Joker coming out, but we saw a very, very strong showing from it earlier when Bloom faced off against Urban. But here we go, folks. This is your winners finals. It is the EOE players of GP and Bloom. Of course, GP with the eye facing off against the Joker we just talked about from Bloom. It'll be very interesting to see what goes on. And already we're seeing just both these players really just duking out, boxing against each other, not slowing down in the slightest.
So, on paper, right, this matchup is dreadful for you get Tetracond off stage, the faster buttons from Joker, you have a big, thing to kind of overcome here. And when Bloom is piloting, you're barely... We talk about, getting, off ledge against Bloom earlier. Basically impossible for Urban. Against a character like Ike, though, maybe even harder.
Exactly, and what we're seeing here though, it's actually quite sort of even between the both. They're kind of just dancing around each other's shield here, trying to find these few straight hits, and indeed, again, we saw it previously, you know, Ike obviously wanting just to find that one straight neutral air that will definitely lead to a death. But also, you know, Bloom just wanting to hold down that neutral, very much a combo character, you know, wanting to just kind of get that one back here or something away, that will take away the stock. But there we go, and again, another example, just literally what we were talking about. You know, that neutral air into the up air, taking away the stock, obliterating it.
Playing neutral versus GP is so good. Like, you might have like a 50-60% lead at this point, but like if you're at 90%, that's near up air, baby. You're going to get hit by that. I mean, everybody in this bracket has basically been hit by that. And a lovely side B though. Bloom answering straight back. You know, you think that you're safe that far into the blast zone, not against Joker.
Exactly, yeah, and you know, GP really gonna have to watch out for that. You know, and of course another thing that we have to sort of keep in mind. Oh, an air dodge coming out from Bloom there, but gonna make it back fortunately. But yes, just one thing that we haven't really kind of talked about and that we haven't seen just yet. We did see one example, but it narrowly missed. Of course, one of more potent weaknesses is his recovery, which generally is snuffed out by counters.
Hang on a minute.
Which is what Bloom has.
Yep, Bloom just hit him with 3 AHARs, and this game is now even.
Of course, that Ether coming out as well, going to do a big damage, especially with the recent patch buffs as well, where it absolutely buffed that up to absolutely insane levels where it can just kill at very, very early percentages.
I think you can tell also that GP is very familiar with playing against Bloom and playing against Joker, right? Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, only the down tilt, but the air dodge out. Yeah, that's going to get hit by Bloom. Bloom now in the lead, finally getting one of those edge guards, because I was going to talk about the fact that Bloom has really struggled to get some of the edge guards, especially against Quick Draw without Arsene. But now, getting the lead here, finally getting those edge guards versus Ike, that is, I think, how, if Bloom wants to win this set, it's what they need to do.
Exactly. I mean, but both these players keeping it very competitive here, keeping things very even. GP not afraid of what Joker can do, even though this can be quite a scary match for them. They are just quite happy just to whack away as much as they can. But Bloom, narrowly missing a punish there, could have got some big damage from it, but just trying to gain neutral here. Arsene comes out as well, dash attack hits well, this is scary. And the counter comes out. It's exactly what we talked about before, about how scary it can be versus Ike, and indeed GP feeling its wrath right there.
When Bloom followed that quick draw so well, just was like, yeah, release it. You have no idea when I'm going to Tetracon. Actually, wait, it's probably going to be a bit below the ledge if he does it here, so I'm going to do it there. Brilliant stuff from Bloom, taking game 1 after such a strong start from GP2.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an absolute cork of a set, like already from that game 1. Of course, the Joker coming out once more here, no changes from either player to be expected. Of course, we're going to have to see what changes GP can make, trying to avoid, falling for those, counters at the ledge, does not want to be caught by surprise and lose some early stocks to it.
And already 50% off one string on Joker, but there we go, back air. We see another offstage situation. Upgun gonna send GP back to the stage in a favourable position, but I mean, yeah, now we're back to even.
Exactly, it's just a few hits that come out, and again, this set can be just evened up. But as we've always talked about, you have to be careful whacking away a Joker, because every bit of damage that is done only edges you closer to Arsene coming out. Now, GP, you can see them playing so much more carefully. The up air does come out, to find one straight hit. But the bullets just interrupting everything that GP want to do. And no jump as well, which means they are unfortunately just going to fall short there.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Well, I mean, Ike weakness 101, really. Oh, come on. I mean, yeah, Eruption's hitbox is ridiculous. Like,
absolutely
what can we say?
Is, yeah. I mean, you have to be so careful with that. You have to make sure that you're sort of delaying recoveries or going too high where you're just out of its radius. But Bloom just getting caught by it regardless. And now GP evening up this game as well. Just like game 1, keeping it so close between both the players. As you said before, you can tell that they're both very familiar with each other's playstyles because, you know, certainly I think in a lot of cases you'd see Ike versus Joker and you'd probably think, you know, I think that the Ike would kind of play a bit more sort of reserved, a bit more kind of carefully. But GP knows exactly, you know, what he wants to punish on Bloom. He knows how Bloom plays as well. You know, kind of just general habits that he has from playing Smash.
And yeah, now it's Bloom's turn to be off the ledge versus Eruption. The Eruption lands too early, but the forward tilt, not going to quite do it. And this is what I was talking about earlier, right? 40% lead, I'm still more scared for Bloom.
Exactly. I mean, this is, again, we've seen it time and time again, where GP can just find those few hits, and now they are just controlling the ledge just from left to right. You know, they're not letting Bloom get anything. But Bloom finally making it back, getting that back air, finding the EHA as well. You know, now just keeping GP away, and as well just countering that recovery, and then the Arsene back air. Genius.
Yeah, exactly what Bloom needed. Very, very surgical in terms of, you're going to hit me here, here's my Arsene, and now I'm going to get the back air on you. Finally going to kill from the center stage. Tacking on the percent here with the Arsene, the Aegeon. And now already 60%, 75. That's a counter.
Yeah.
No jump on GP. And what a brilliant punish on the air dodge. Bloom taking game number 2. Again, when Bloom gets the edge guards, Ike suffers.
Yeah.
And like, whilst there is a little bit of like maybe a mess up, or maybe you can't punish it as much because Bloom might not have Arsene.
Yeah.
The moments where GP is off stage with the Arsene are some of the critical moments where Bloom has been able to capitalize and just steal these games.
Yes, exactly. I mean, this is what we are seeing time and time again. You're absolutely right. You know, it is just GP, you know, finding these moments when they're on stage, you know, getting those hits, you know, finding those kills that he needs. But then when he's off stage, that's when things start to get a little bit tough. You know, very much Ike's biggest weakness is his offstage game. You know, he cannot, if you know his opponent is pressuring offstage, and there's not too much he can do about it. You know, and indeed his recovery very linear as well. And Bloom, just showing that, yeah, he's aware of like what GP wants to do, how he wants to recover. So we'll just go down there and meet him.
Yeah, and again, starting off very, very close to each other. GP on 80%, the Bloom here on 43. Oh, brilliant A-Heart. Like, he's been missing, Bloom's been missing a lot of the A-Hearts, right? Sometimes when it comes to the edge guarding. But like, they tack on so much damage when they do hit, right?
Absolutely, and it's such a kind of non-committal option you can do as well. And oh my god, was the Arsene coming in at the exact right time there for Bloom. Yeah, giving just a little bit of invincibility where they can avoid that up air. Now just using, again, that side B, just coming out, you know, we talk about how it's a very non-committal when it's just normal base Joker. But when Arsene comes out, that's when it gets quite scary. That's when it can start killing.
Yeah, for once, this time, GP managing to make it off the ledge versus Arsene Joker. Really, really well played from him. It's going to be one hit. I didn't expect that one hit to be from GP, though. GP taking the lead here, 180%. But again, he might be at the percent deficit, but he most certainly, you know, doesn't feel like that.
Exactly. I mean, you know, again, we talked about it before in an earlier set with GP, but, you know, that dash attack always just coming in clutch. You can just throw it out, and GP feeling that, like, even though he was at super high percentage, you know, I can throw that dash attack, you know. If it hits shield, then it's not too unsafe, you know, but if it hits, then I will get the stop and get a lead. But what we're seeing here, Bozza, and I think is what you were going to say as well, is how a few straight hits from Bloom, and suddenly this game is completely evened up.
This is exactly what happened at the end of the last game, right? GP has a little bit of a lead. Bloom gets one grab, does a whole bunch of damage with Arsene, and then manages to keep GP in disadvantage. That disadvantage then turns towards a ledge interaction, and as soon as you're on the ledge versus Arsene, yeah, kiss it goodbye. So good stuff here from Bloom. But once again, struggling to get this kill, 150% here on Ike. GP landing these kind of ethers from the corner, and yeah, otherwise, how's he going to find the kill this time?
Exactly. I mean, you know, Bloom literally lapping it, but GP actually finding the up B there and taking Bloom down with him. That is such a good opportunity for GP. That was so worth it for them. They were almost 100% difference between the two, but GP just saying, you know what, I know I'm at high percentage, I will take you down with me.
cataclysmic for Bloom. I mean, getting hit by that, you know, like you're not that close away from getting the back air and sealing the stock, and then for it to be just put back to even. I mean, I say it's cataclysmic, right? But then Bloom has been able to get these kind of like one grab, super crazy advantage states. Case in point right now, how much percent's on Bloom and how much is on GP right now?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, since they both started the stock, Bloom has just been in dominance, but GP's still not going down. But again, we see there an example of the counter coming out to stop that recovery. Again, another one comes out, but this time GP recovers high, but he's still in a disastrous position here. He's not actually touched the ground once, and I don't think he has a jump, but the blue counter comes out, and Bloom takes it 3-0 and is moving on into grand finals, winner side.
Yeah, it's tea time all over again, isn't it?
It really is. It really, really is, and it's what we're starting to see.
I mean, I'd say it's tea time, right? But these people are playing for what? How much money? 642 quid overall?
It's absolutely absurd amount of money, yes.
Yeah,
I believe one of the highest funded events that we've seen in Smash UK history. Absolutely insane amount of money for whoever wins this today. Definitely going to be feeling, you know, quite happy. And indeed, I think that's why we're seeing all these players really just battling it out, you know, with their hearts on their wrists. You know, they really, you know, they obviously, you know, they want to take that back home. They want to grab that money. You know, they want to feel good about it. Indeed, you know, all these players now in a position where absolutely any of them could win.
Absolutely.
You know, Bloom sitting in winner's side of grand finals, you obviously think they're the most comfortable, but any of the remaining players certainly still feeling, you know, that they've got that opportunity, and indeed, yeah, anyone can take it still. It is still very much open. We've got to decide who will be meeting Bloom in winner's side. So now we're going to delve down into that loser side for that loser semi-final match with Jaxter versus RAMBOSS.
Let's hype him back up again. RAMBOSS, carrying the flag of literally the rest of England. The rest of the UK rests on this man's shoulders. Jaxter needs no introduction. They're already screaming EOE. He's also screaming something in Caveman that I can't quite understand. But, you know, we'll ignore it for a second. Yeah, these guys have been playing friendlies earlier today. Samus Falco is a matchup that already Jaxter has been able to best in top 8.
Exactly, yes. This is what's quite interesting as well, because of course, yeah, as you say, we had earlier off stream, Jaxter versus Bengus, Falco versus Samus. But now, RAMBOSS are very different kind of Samus than probably what Jaxter was used to. But as you say, they were doing friendlies earlier, but friendlies versus actual set can be very different. So it'll be interesting to see if we do see that Falco come out, you know. As you say, Jaxter having that epiphany, you know, that he is going to, you know, take down Bloom in grand finals. And do you know who's sitting in grand finals right now?
It's Bloom.
So maybe this epiphany is starting to look more and more true.
The vision is here. Oh dear. I mean, talking to GP earlier, right? Talking to him, we were talking about how RAMBOSS plays versus how Bengus plays. And according to GP, that was really night and day. The way those two Samuses like felt when they were matched up against GP, totally different in terms of how they pressure, what kind of movement tricks they use. And I mean, you're familiar with RAMBOSS's play if you've seen any of Meltdown Mondays or what have you. And now here we go. RAMBOSS carrying the flag. Can he carry it into losers finals, or is it going to be an EOE top 3?
Exactly, the one and only hope to stop this EOE invasion. But RAMBOSS certainly a player that can do it, you know, proving themselves time and time again, as you have said, you know, in these London tournaments. But Jaxter, of course, you know, not only carrying this dream, this prophecy that he has had, where he might be taking it over Bloom in grand finals, but also just a strong player in its own right. And certainly Falco versus Samus. A lot of people would say that, you know, Falco holds the advantage in this matchup. Of course, that reflector really, really proving to be just a strong tool against what Samus likes doing, you know, throwing out all those projectiles. And Jaxter can just send them all back.
I was talking to Jaxter about the Falco-Samus matchup, and he reckons it's even. But I'm quoting Jaxter at this point, right? They were like, yeah, I do have a frame 1 reflector, but then Samus kicks me, and I don't know what to do. And I mean, Samus's close quarters options, really, really good, right? Charge shot, ridiculous at basically any range. You've obviously got the 4-frame up B out of shield. Jaxter needs to really, really be careful how they're landing on RAMBOSS's shield.
And of course, you know, while it is true that, Falco does have this reflector, can send those projectiles back, if RAMBOSS is able to guess it, that is a free opportunity for him to punish it hard. And indeed, I think we are going to be seeing examples of, RAMBOSS trying to bait out their projectors. Jaxter can't always be ready for them. Indeed, now that's... Oh, beautiful tech there. Jaxter literally living on by a thread, but then finding the up tilt back air as well. This is looking quite scary for RAMBOSS here.
What a reversal. I mean, Jaxter's been playing so hot basically all day. And clearly the Samus experience is paying off. Still having free stocks. 50% now on RAMBOSS. That's 55. That's a drag down. We see the jump there. Not going to quite be over, but oh my goodness, the advantage state continues.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely insane stuff. Not only from Jaxter for doing that combo, but also to RAMBOSS as well for hanging onto that jump for all that time, because if they hadn't, that would have been game over. That would have been a free stock in this game one, which is definitely not something you want. But of course, it's still on the cards, as we do see it, as the up tilt back air comes out once again. And this is looking good for Jaxter right now.
The prophecy is coming true before my very eyes. I mean, if you're from literally anywhere that isn't east of the country known as England, you've got to be sobbing in the club for that one. RAMBOSS maybe needs to take a step back here. Fine, I think it's the disadvantage, right? Jaxter's advantage is literally so good. You see the continuation of the combos. You see how they are able to do those resets, pick those spots where they're like, okay, now they're going to swing, that's where I reset, new combo starts here. Like, this is peak Jaxter right now. Yes. We're not messing around with Pyramithra anymore.
No, absolutely. I mean, Jaxter, always kind of feeling at home with Falco. And actually, we are seeing an interesting change here from RAMBOSS, as actually, feeling that the Samus, can't do it against Falco. And in fairness, he has been on record saying that he doesn't feel comfortable in that matchup. So instead, we're seeing something very interesting here with the Sephiroth coming out.
What? I've never seen RAMBOSS play a single different character. But, I mean, here's Sephiroth. Again, another character that likes to zone you out. Of course, a little bit differently. You've just got massive disjoints instead of, I guess, massive disjoints in the Zed, but also projectiles. And, oh my goodness me, I'm trying to do analytical commentary, and here's Jaxter with another up tilt back air, like 30 seconds into the set.
Exactly. I mean, again, we've talked about it before, but, Jaxter just showing that, they can just find those openings, and then, they just need that one confirm. They can really just pile on the pressure. And now just down to RAMBOSS to try and find a way back into this game. But doing a good job here, taking too much damage. Trying to bait out that counter as well, seeing him charging up that neutral B. Assuming that Jaxter was going to throw out that reflector, so they're just trying to bait it out. But Jaxter, again, just finding these openings and just getting big damage from it.
Yeah, Sephiroth in disadvantage is going to be a lot harder to punish, I think, than Samus. Samus has a little bit more movement off stage, but messing with Sephiroth's like recovery, and then you've got the triple jump to get involved once the one wing comes out, like... There are so many mix-ups that Sephiroth can get, and yeah, Jaxter has to be ready for them if they're going to take these stocks.
Exactly, and then again there, as you say, RAMBOSS finding that chance there to land the up tilt and indeed taking the stock away. Only 49%, not disastrous here. Can certainly make that back quite quickly. Again, now we're starting to see a kind of different RAMBOSS again. It's a more comfortable RAMBOSS. As we do see them throwing out those side Bs, and throwing out these kind of long, ranged moves here, trying to keep the distance between him and Jaxter.
And okay, we see a forward air, another offstage situation, giving Sephiroth the respect he deserves. Falling out of the up tilt. Now it's Jaxter off stage. Once again, like, RAMBOSS has been going for these down smashes at ledge, and they haven't been paying off. I wonder if it's like a two-frame thing with the up B.
Absolutely. I mean, of course, Sephiroth's sword being so big as it is, certainly it can catch supplies, and I think he's trying to catch those side Bs that come out, because they don't necessarily snap to ledge, they do come onto ledge, so I think that is what RAMBOSS is hoping to catch with them. But if Jaxter is careful, he could just avoid them completely, which is what we've been seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you're seeing a lot of run shield from Jaxter. Jaxter managing to put a stock lead back in front of him. And now it's just going to be the question of, can RAMBOSS find this stock? I mean, Falco's pretty light, and Sephiroth has some crazy ways to get these kills. But Sephiroth is also light. And the more damage piled on Sephiroth, the more it matters, and the more closer, or the closer we are to potentially seeing a kill.
Absolutely. I mean, this is starting to look very, very scary here for RAMBOSS. You know, one stock, they do have the wing out as well, which of course will go away, you know, if they take the stock away from Jaxter, so they need to pay attention to that. You know, the fact that they probably won't get it back for the rest of this game once it's gone, but they need to find the stock away anyway. So there we go, the stock is gone. The wing does stick around for a little while longer, but, you know, gonna have to make the best use of it that they can.
Yeah, if One Wing Angel isn't playing already, like, it's definitely playing in Jaxter's head now. Like, boom, boom. Welcome, here we have Sephiroth. Like, are you gonna get kept out? Are you just gonna get, like, completely crazy advantage stated? Or are you gonna get up tilt back air? Because let's face it, Sephiroth is now pretty much at that perfect percent to get hit by that beautiful combo from...
There we go, and I mean, yeah, and now we're just seeing, again, example of just Jaxter finally these few straight hits can land so much damage, but a good read there that just narrowly missed from RAMBOSS there, and the side B as well, saving them from the punish. This is a good position for them to be in. They can definitely take this game away. They're just got to play so carefully here. Got to watch out for his up tilt. And then finally, the down smash. No, not quite. Not going to do it just, but then the reflector comes out, and RAMBOSS loses the stock and the game to it. The final reflector at the very end when RAMBOSS least expected it.
Wow, burn. It was so close. I saw that down smash and I saw it like just off the tip of Sephiroth's sword, and I'm like, yeah, that's a sweet spot. Falco's, you know, paperweight, like surely that's a kill. And then Jaxter, brilliant recognition, sees the charging. I mean, to be fair to RAMBOSS was cancelling a lot of those in the game, like trying to bait an option out of Jaxter. The one time he actually throws it out, Jaxter's there, frame on reflector.
Absolutely. It was just a case of, yeah, Jaxter just being ready to just be on the guard there, you know, just ready to, you know, finger on the trigger, ready to throw it out just in case. And indeed, you know, in that one moment, just having that correct guess. And now actually what we're seeing here is, despite a close game 2, RAMBOSS going to go back to that Samus, you know, go back to the main, you know, go back to the character you are most comfortable with, you know, to try and get yourself on board here. And certainly, you know, despite how game 1 went, you know, this is still RAMBOSS' best character, and a character that has taken so many good games and so many sets off so many players. You know, there's absolutely no reason to ever doubt this Samus.
The protagonist went on a journey, they learned something, and now they're back, and now they're a changed person. You know, typical story kind of structure. And now you're seeing RAMBOSS thinking, okay, the main has to be able to do it, right? Because the Sephiroth, I mean, the game was pretty close with Sephiroth, but this is, you know, the most comfortable that RAMBOSS is going to be. And I think that, you know, if you're feeling comfortable, you're going to play a lot better because you're going to be more aware of certain interactions, of certain moments. And yeah, I mean, already RAMBOSS keeping this a lot closer.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, and of course, what we talked about it before as well with, you know, kind of matchup on sides when we saw Craftmaster's Kazuya. But, you know, it is a case of, you know, you go for a character that you kind of people wouldn't expect, you know, just to see if you could potentially get that game kind of, you know, with that sort of unknown factor where they're not quite sure, like, how you're going to play this character, what the character can do, etc. But, you know, in that case, it didn't quite pay off for RAMBOSS, so he's going to go back, you know, instead of now that, you know, Jaxter is used to the Sephiroth, you know, not going to risk, you know, trying to learn it and adapt to it, just going to go back to the lane. And indeed, you know, keeping it very competitive here between these two in this game 3.
Jaxter's playing so patient. Like, he got the up throw earlier and he didn't go immediately for the up air, which is what a lot of players would have done. And like waiting on the ledge, catching RAMBOSS's get up option there with the forward air. I mean, yeah, 88% though, to be fair. This is very, very easily done for RAMBOSS. Baiting 2 up Bs out. Okay, RAMBOSS, that's 3 out Bs.
Yeah, and again, just going to be punished hard for that one there. But RAMBOSS, you know, just try and find a stock there. Playing very, very defensively here, just wanting to find a few straight hits. You know, desperate to get that stock away and finally land it with the down B bomb into the forward tilt there. We see it so many times from RAMBOSS before. And once again, just landing that hit. Such a strong boot to the face and your stock is gone.
Yeah, and I have to imagine, like, RAMBOSS I've noticed has been using Zair a lot better in this game. And Zair, fantastic approaching tool here because, you know, you have a lot of long-range attacks with Samus. all of them are projectiles, and against a character with a frame 1 reflector, you need something that closes that mid-range distance, especially given Falco is so slow on the ground. Therefore, what's better than Zaire? You've got a really disjointed hitbox coming out. It covers kind of that under the platform area, and as you can see, it baits an option out of Jaxter. It's just a shame that, you know, RAMBOSS is still getting up tilted and back air for it.
Absolutely. I mean, and this is such a turnaround as well from game 1, where it looks so disastrous from almost the get-go for RAMBOSS here. But in this game, he is very much, he knows what Jaxter wants to do, and he's battling it. He is duking out with all his heart here to keep this dream alive. And again, another example of the bomb there catching Jaxter and then, land him straight into that plasma shot. Only 68% on him right now, but a big reflector there. Yeah, let's rocket that percentage up.
103 on Jaxter now. Is that an up tilt back air? Yes, it is. And that is a 3-0 from Jaxter. The vision, it might come true.
Absolutely. I mean,
the rest, he picks up the East of England flag and flies it now. RAMBOSS doing a little bit of a boo. And trying to get some boos out from the crowd.
And what we're seeing here, is indeed that EOE top 3.
So what you're saying is that EOE's top 3, EOE comms at a Midlands event.
Yes.
And they say it's not rigged.
I'm half EOE. I'm kind of EOE, sort of. Okay. I'm like multiple. I'm like 5 different regions. I class myself, but that's a story for another time. But regardless, just Bloom, winner side of grand finals. GP Jaxter losers finals. Top 3 of this event. Yes, as you say, it has just been a complete EOE takeover today, and it's not stopping. We are going to see an EOE champion at the end of this. Unfortunately, there is no stopping this train anymore. RAMBOSS, the only hope, falling short. And then, and we talked about a little bit, but that dream that Jaxter had starting to look more and more real as we get closer to the end of this tournament. Certainly, looking very, very strong, a strong 3-0 over RAMBOSS there. That is a huge win for Jaxter there. And now he faces another player that he's very familiar with. Very gone back and forth.
Yeah, we're literally playing our weekly in top 3. Come on.
You did this to
yourself. That's not our
problem.
But let's not forget about RAMBOSS, right? RAMBOSS, 4th place out of 60 players?
Absolutely. And still getting, a share of the prize pot as well. It is top 5 that get paid out, so, still securing a small bag there. That's, definitely going to be happy walking away with that one. And certainly, RAMBOSS, always a player that, regardless if they get 3-0'd, still absolutely insane and always still someone to look out for. So, certainly.
Yeah.
We'll see them in upcoming tournaments. We'll see them always pop off. We'll see them win tournaments. That is a fact. That is guaranteed. This 3-0 merely a blip on an otherwise incredible record.
Yeah, and the VODs. The VODs are there to watch back, RAMBOSS. We got your back here at Canal Clash. But for now, hello everybody and welcome to the Tea Time Top 3. This is what you've been waiting for.
Yes.
Jaxter versus GP, you know them, you love them, we've already talked about them. A lot here today. This is not deja vu, you're not watching the wrong stream. This is a Lincoln Regional. But we are here with GP Jaxter, BC Jaxter, you can see it in the little corner there. Here in top 3.
We tried our absolute hardest. We really truly did to stop this, but no, it is a top 3 EOE. It is essentially a Tea Time Weekly at this point. There is no stopping the train anymore. We are just merely passengers on it. We cannot stop it. We're so far gone from the beaten path that we are just allowing it now.
Yeah, now both of these players have made quite the run. GP's run was in winners, making the upset over RAMBOSS. Doing very, very well against Craftmaster and popping the flip off for that. Lost to Bloom, but come on, you're losing to the number 1 seed of the tournament. That's nothing to, put yourself down about. Jaxter's run, very much through losers. Lost to UrbanTurban earlier in the bracket. Oh, don't give me that face. But making it all the way back here, beating foe after foe after foe. Here we are, Falco, Ike, Jaxter GP. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. And did talk about the fact that, you know, of course, these two are very familiar with each other, you know, from the Tea Time Weeklies and from just previous sets in general anyway. But that is certainly what we're going to be seeing. It's a case of, you know, which player can pull out the most new tricks in front of the other. Because, of course, both these players, you know, even though they are familiar with each other, even though they are the EOE family, obviously, you know, they want to go on to that Grand Finals. They want to take home a larger share of the pot, you know. So both these players really going to be duking out with absolutely everything they've got. This is certainly not going to be a cakewalk for either player.
No, I mean, some of us want to see the vision come true too, if you know what I'm saying. But already 60% here on GP. GP looking to get something started. But I mean, if there's one thing that Falco's good at, I'm not saying Falco wins the matchup. But Falco's air-to-airs, when you've got nair, when you've got up air, you know, and the anti-airs too in the form of up tilt, you've got a lot of good things that make this matchup a lot easier for you.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely, and I mean, you know, what we're seeing here as well is that both these players, you know, kind of contrary to what we've seen in previous sets where they've been very much kind of duking out with their opponents very much in their face, kind of been the fast character on the screen. What we're seeing here is actually an example of, you know, both these players playing quite slowly and defensively, very much giving each other some respect because they know exactly what the other wants, you know. Obviously, Jaxter looking for that up tilt back air, GP looking for that neutral air up air or neutral air back air.
I mean, look at that up smash read. Yeah, these players have played each other for quite a while. And I think if Jaxter wants to take this set, we need to see a little bit of what we saw from Bloom, right? It was all in the edge guards in that matchup, and I mean, Falco can most certainly do some of that as well. Maybe a little bit less, you know, dominating. Falco, of course, still very, very light, very open to getting nair, up air, you know, no disjoints, of course. But still very, very good, still able to do this, and I mean, look, you've been seeing catching GP out of the air already.
And you know, I have to give credit to GP here. You know, I've been hanging on to this 158% for quite a while now, just not letting this stock go. Certainly, you know, just not letting Jaxter touch them in the slightest. Meanwhile, you know, Jaxter just trying to find his hit. You know, they are so close to taking their point. You know, an up air comes out. You see the red lightning there, but not going to do it just yet. I mean, GP really, really does not want this stock to go.
I was about to say, what were we saying during the last GP set? He may be 50% down, but he has those kill confirms, and he will kill you earlier than he's dying at. Jaxter, though, immediately evening up the score. You see now that, like, both of these players, it's been about, what, 3 minutes? And only the first stocks have been taken from both sides.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what I was saying before about the fact that, you know, kind of, while in previous sets it's been quite quick, you know, especially that RAMBOSS Jaxter set, that was a very, very quick, rapid-fire set, you know. In this one, we're seeing these two very much giving each other respect because it is, you know, in addition to kind of just respecting the character, I think they're also just respecting each other. They know exactly what to do.
Nice.
But Jaxter absolutely popping off there with that down air. Absolutely insane read on GP to secure that stock, and that has put them in a very nice position here. And again, a roll read as well, getting the re-grab. Jaxter suddenly tearing it up.
So somehow, despite this game being super, super even, like Jaxter has actually just pulled everything out of the bag. Got the, like, your typical, like, really, really good kill confirm from the laser into, like, getting the down air off of that. And now, GP's on 140%, and Jaxter's barely been touched ever since.
Exactly. I mean, you know, GP really going to have to find it, but unfortunately there, a bit of a fluff, as unfortunately he does fall to that back air. You know, I think GP was looking for, you know, kind of a few more straight hits and then to reset in that kind of defensive position, but Jaxter just saying, well, we're both up in the air, I'm going to throw out that back air and I'm going to take the set and take the game.
Literally every other character in the game that worked on.
Yeah.
But Jaxter, and more specifically Falco, has the highest double jump in the game. So just whoop, and you're over it. So really, really well done from Jaxter there. Defeat it, like managing to do another reversal. He's been so good at those reversals now that I think about it, hasn't he?
And that is the thing as well, was it? You know, such a, you know, a good point because, yeah, those first stock, yeah, that was so even, so back and forth. You know, very much. It took, you know, as we said at the time, 3 minutes or so, or even one stock to go. But then suddenly, you know, it disappeared, and then Jaxter, something unlocked in him. You know, a third eye popped out of his forehead because he was just aware of what he needs to do. You know, getting that down and taken away. And here again, we're seeing just Jaxter just not letting GP play the game. You know, not letting him do what he wants to.
And like, oh, I thought that was going to be in there, up B for some reason. But yeah, Jaxter playing a lot slower than he normally does, I feel like. But also, I think it's just something about Jaxter's play where it is, he's very much like, okay, I'm going to get hit, I'm going to get hit, I'm going to get hit. But when I hit you, let me tell you, when I hit you, you are dying. Like, you are either taking 60%, like 70%, you're off stage, you're in the air, like, I know exactly when to reset, I know exactly when to continue this combo. And already, like, well, here we go again, off stage, laser, down air, gets the up air, falls, oh, not the up air, sorry, the nair, but falls out of it. I mean, if he didn't fall out of the up air, GP was literally dead.
Yeah, and again, a beautiful forward tilt there coming out from GP to take the stock away. And another instance of where Jaxter was really just turning up at the start of the stock there, and then suddenly GP doing what Jaxter did in that game 1. Just being like, okay, no, I know what I need to do. Resetting all situations, finding those openings, getting that kill as well. And then finally, you know, falling short, but not before attacking on 35% of damage, which is a respectable amount that you want of free deficit.
Yeah, but was this not the same situation that we saw the last game? Both players, similar stocks, like it's a very, very even game, but all it takes is one Jaxter combo, one crazy conversion, one reset, what have you. Here we go, the quick draw getting caught, 44%. GP able to reverse. Not something you normally see out of one of Jaxter's combos.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Jaxter has been so on point with almost all of these quick draws, you know, always been in the exact right place, you know, to really just punish it, but a complete surprise death there. I think, unfortunately, DI coming out from Jaxter, not expecting to actually, you know, lose the stocks there, but yeah, the forward air coming out for GP, gonna absolutely take away, but Jaxter, again, not want to lose this game, gets the up tilt back air, and now we are at a 0% one stock situation.
I'm sitting here going like, yeah, that really was the T time DI, like I need to go for T, like. But immediately, like, I was about to make fun of him, and then what did he do? He did a Jaxter combo. He got the advantage. He read GP so perfectly with those quick draws. It's like, you know, he's got the reading age of, I don't know, what's the highest reading age? Whatever. But he's down now. I must have missed that.
Exactly. I mean, you know, GP, again, just using these opportunities to, you know, just swing them around, you know, and Jaxter has to respect it. You know, he can't go for any too risky, you know, because he knows if, you know, GP is able to get these hits in, that could be it. But he's got to punish these offstage, which is exactly what he's doing. You notice that as soon as GP was offstage, Jaxter was like, this is my moment, and he took it.
Yeah, and more specifically, that moment is always quick draw onto stage. And to be honest, I don't know what GP is super afraid of, because he's not being hit like that super hard on the ledge when he's quick drawing to ledge. But Jaxter is taking advantage, he's getting it every single time. Is that an up tilt into the back air? I think he tries to cross up the DI, because I expected it to go left there, but not quite. Oh my goodness me, hitting him out.
Yeah, so scary for GP there, narrowly avoiding death there, and the back air comes out, and indeed that takes the game, and GP puts one on the board, 1-1.
Did I just see that kill at 95 mid-stage?
Roughly.
Okay, where's the nearest police force? I feel like something egregiously illegal just happened there.
It just, you know, Ike being one of those characters that just hits so hard, and indeed, you know, so that back air coming out is exactly what GP wanted to take that game. So 1-1 between these two now.
1-1, and I mean, yeah, that game was a lot closer. So maybe kind of GP is beginning to go like, okay, I'm realizing where the resets in Jaxter's combos are. Those are the key moments where the decisions I make in disadvantage really matter. Because if you start, you know, quick drawing into the shield, if you start messing up when you're, you know, doing what you're doing around ledge, especially like you saw that up B that he got hit out of with the forward air, right? Those are the situations where your choices matter. And GP has been picking decisions in those scenarios where he's been getting hit less, he's been getting the reversals, and clearly he's now starting to win some games.
Exactly. I mean, now it is down to Jaxter to see if they can defeat this menace. Of course, you know, keeping it very competitive in that last game. Now, just getting these big combos out here, getting some huge amount of damage. But one parry is still not even going to stop them. Already, we are barely 30 seconds of the game, and GP is at triple digits.
Sorry, I blinked though. We're at 103%. Yeah, I'm not surprised anymore. Jaxter, way too good with this character, man. I know, like, Jaxter has always been talking about, I want to go Pyromithra, I want to go Pyromithra, and let's not be around the bush here, the Pyromithra, blimmin' fantastic. However, when you're doing 103 off of one string, you really got to figure out where your homie, the character on the inside is, who your true main is.
Absolutely. I mean, as you said, Jaxter's kind of always sort of like kind of swung back and forth in terms of his faith in this character, but it is times like this where his true mastery of Falco really shines, and indeed it's what we're seeing in this bracket. But it doesn't matter about mastery when you are dealing with the Ike, which GP has really just matured over so many games. He's always been a Ike fan. He has never once dropped his faith in this character. He's used this in Smash 4. He will use it in Ultimate, and he knows the character like the back of his hand.
Yeah. 999, I feel like I just saw another robbery with that dash attack. But here's the thing, right? I think, I'm sure you've noticed this as well, GP is, I think, the only person in top 8 who's properly be DIing those Falco up throws and those Falco back throws. Because if you DI down on the back throws, of course, you're going to get missed by the laser. And of course, that laser is crucial between some of the confirms for Falco working and, not dying off the side and not dying off the top at like high percents.
And indeed, that I think that could be put down to the fact that these two have obviously played against each other so much. So I think GP is very aware of what Falco can do, and so knows exactly what he wants to avoid and what he needs to DI and when. So, certainly kind of that experience of fighting each other so much in the locals they both go to, definitely come in full force here. But unfortunately, even with as much matchup experience that you have, sometimes you will just get hit by some of those moves, and indeed that up smash taking away the stock, and Jaxter again in a great position right now to take this game 3.
Yeah, nice shield, making sure that GP miss-spaces the nair. And of course, once you start getting grabs and up tilts, you start getting these combos. 76% now, catching the quick draw onto the stage. He's so good at that. Now at 106%. Is this going to be it? Oh, the fair barely misses. But the illusion does not. That is another game in Jaxter's bag. One game away from Grand Finals versus Bloom, and that advantage state once again. Where are the gaps?
The thing is about Jaxter as well, in what we're seeing time and time again, is he just has these moments where something just comes over him and he just starts playing like a completely different person. He locks a different gear and just goes full force with it. We saw it there, it was a slower start in that first stock, then the second stock, starts gear up, and then the third one, just completely tearing through. He just did not slow down even once.
BC, barbaric clutches. The amount of it is kind of like trying to start up an old motor. Okay, we're getting going. Stock number 3. Oh, okay, he's running on full cylinders now, and I mean, now one game away, of course, in Game 4 here from being in Grand Finals. GP's got to make something back, man.
Absolutely, and this is a very strong start for Jaxter here. Already netting on 67% and not really slowing down in the slightest. GP still trying to find even the slightest bit of damage. Finally getting with that neutral there, but needs to carry it a bit further. Meanwhile, Jaxter keeping defensive, throwing out those guns, does not want GP to get anything going here.
Yeah, and look, really good out of shield punishes as well from Jaxter, I think. We haven't been commending him enough on. The edge guards again, the advantage state. I mean, if he's firing on these many cylinders at stock number 1, stock number 3 is going to be looking absolutely mental.
Absolutely, yeah. And, I mean, that is just the perfect way to put it. And again, we're seeing this example of just Jaxter starting to rear up again. It's like an engine getting started, and we are starting to see the full effects of it. It's like he's still running from that previous game as well, because GP have looked a little bit lost in this game here. Jaxter really just been taking him for a storm. GP just struggling to really get anything going.
And I mean, Jaxter, of course, always talks about being number 1 of East of England. I mean, always talks. But, I mean, he's clearly showing it here. Look at this superiority. GP is so good. He's one of the East of England's best players. And yet Jaxter comes out here He's like, yeah, this is my advantage state, go deal with it. And GP's really got to think out the box to now try and take some of these stocks. I wouldn't have expected a jump up air there. Really good decision making from GP.
Absolutely. I mean, we said this at the start of the set as well, but because the fact that these two players have faced each other so many times, it was a case of that they needed to find new tricks to pull out in clutch positions. And indeed, I think that's kind of what we started to see from GP there. Jaxter certainly not expecting GP just to jump and up air because he's never done it before. We've not seen him do it a single time in this tournament, but then suddenly he's pulling it out just to catch Jaxter by surprise.
It's what separates the boys from the men, so to speak. If you're able to kind of think through these situations, these interactions, and go, okay, what could work here? What could be a little bit, unorthodox and out of place? I mean, up till back air's still going to work, though. How does he keep just managing to find these landings with such a slow character in Falco? It blows my mind.
Absolutely. I mean, Jaxter really just, we saw that as well. He waited his turn. He was not going to slow down to, find it up till the back air, but he was just going to wait for his one little opening, as narrow as it was, to find it, and that is what is carrying him in this game so far and put him in such a good position because he is just one stock away. And there we see it. Unfortunately, GP losing his stock there, his jump, and indeed losing his stock.
Yeah.
But Jaxter taking that set 3-1 and is now in grand finals where he will face off against Bloom Forever for the Canal Clash Championship title.
Ladies and gentlemen, the vision is coming true.
The prophetic vision is certainly starting to look very, very true. Indeed, we are seeing a grand finals with Jaxter and Bloom.
Wow. I mean, we've got to put some respect on GP's name here. Went so far in this bracket, all the way through winner's side, to fall in winners and losers finals is, of course, a travesty. But now it's all on Jaxter or Bloom here. Absolutely. One of these players is going to be walking away. I mean, they're both walking away with filthy amounts of money, but one of them is going to be walking away with even filthier amount of money here.
And indeed, just as you say, GP making the absolute run of a lifetime. I don't think anyone quite expected him to finish as strong as he did. The top three, so well done there from GP. Definitely going to be walking away quite happy with that one. Not expecting kind of to do well, but looking so on form as well. Definitely going to be looking back on those sets as well. Think about okay, how can I take on these titans? Those titans, of course, being Bloom and Jaxter.
There you go.
What's interesting about these two as well?
What's interesting?
If you've paid attention to Twitter,
Jaxter, I do sometimes.
Jaxter has quite pointed out a few times that apparently their record between Jaxter and Bloom is 1-1. So Jaxter has been saying to Bloom that, turn up to a tea time when I'm there, we will settle our record. And now, here we are, rather than a tea time, we're doing it in grand finals of Canal Clash.
Yeah, we are.
Who is number one in EOE? We're about to find out.
Yeah, we really are about to find out. Now, here's the thing. In Toby's vision, in Jaxter's vision, he saw Bloom playing Rob, right? That's what came across in this dream. If we see Rob on this first game, I'm actually gonna lose it.
I think I might honestly just leave because there are I'd actually be kind of scared of Jaxter because that is some actual fortune telling. Yeah, that's some proper, yeah.
Especially to lose and so early on in the bracket, oh my goodness me, what is it now? Craftmaster, Bengus, RAMBOSS, GP, flipping literally everyone.
Yeah, Jaxter has just been an absolute run of a lifetime here, and again, after falling short early in bracket, again, not many people expect everyone to kind of make that run all the way into the grand finals, taking down so many great players along the way. Certainly, Jaxter's not had an easy bracket, but he is here by his own merit. And now, here we go, folks. This is grand finals of Canal Clash. It is Jaxter on the loser side and Bloom on the winner side to decide who will take the championship.
Oh my goodness me, are we here already? Yeah, it's been a long day. These two players have played to be selected to be the best that this room has to offer. 60 competitors to remain, soon to be won. Is it going to be a Falco piloted by Jaxter? Or is it going to be a Joker piloted by Bloom? Because I'm looking at this and I'm going, oh my goodness me, Bloom.
Absolutely.
He's going mental.
I mean, yes, it's been a little while since Bloom was last on the stream, but, you know, Bloom just showing that he will not slow down just like this. He has just racked up so much damage in so little time. Barely a minute in, already got Jaxter up to that 100%, but now it's Jaxter's turn, and we've seen previously what he can do when he finds those openings. He will get huge amounts of damage, but Bloom put a pretty premature stop to that, and indeed, finding the stock as well. He is just so potent with it. You know, he will never miss a single beat in this song.
Doesn't need to even be the spike hitbox of Arsene down air, right? Of course, because regular Joker down air sends out. And just being able to time that so well. We've talked consistently about how much it takes to get Bloom. Just to kind of, you know, how much it takes to get off of ledge versus Bloom. And Jaxter there, feeling the full force of an edge guard that just absolutely ate through that stock.
Absolutely, and I mean, you know, Jaxter still struggling to find the stock away from Bloom as well. You know, barely 30% separating these two as well, barely a difference. But yet, you know, Jaxter just struggling to take this one stock away. And meanwhile, you know, Bloom just trying to rack up as much as they physically can. You know, this is all free damage for them here. But indeed, a good up smash read there. Gonna take the stock away finally from Jaxter, from Bloom even. Indeed, you know, now Jaxter back in the driver's seat here, trying to get as much damage as they physically can.
One Falco combo, in it. That's what I heard. Like, just, I mean, 100, 110, 111? Yeah, that sounds about right. But, oh my goodness me, getting off the ledge against Bloom! Literally impossible, especially as Joker when you've got crazy counters, massive disjointed hitboxes. I mean, Falco is clearly struggling here.
And the absolute crazy thing as well is what we saw as well. Oh, really unfortunate there for Jaxter. Yeah, not quite drifting enough to the ledge to make it. But what I was going to say, just very quickly, you know, what we saw on that buy side in that second stock is Jaxter even stalling his going, jumping between the platforms just to make sure that, you know, try and bait out Bloom into throwing out some sort of option. But even then, it didn't matter because Bloom was completely unfazed. You know, he knew, you know, that Jaxter was just going to wait it out. So he was like, okay, I'll wait it out. I've got time. I've got a good recovery. I don't need to do it.
We were talking about resetting those combos, how Jaxter was so good all the way through losers at picking the spots where he's like, yeah, my last confirm ended, this one starts. But now, picking up the wolf here and going, okay, something needs to change. Falco Joker is clearly not working. Here I am with the better character, and yeah, let's see how Jaxter's wolf seemingly ends up here. Not even Pifra.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, swapping out one spacey for the other. Yeah, very, very interesting pick here from Jaxter. You know, one would assume that, you know, they would go Pyro Myth as this character they seemingly, at least in bracket, been putting a lot of time into. But this wolf, you know, again, a kind of an unknown factor here. Maybe trying to sort of bring out this kind of, you know, fear in Bloom. You know, what can this wolf do? You know, what do I need to respect? You know, how does Jaxter play this character? But, you know, certainly, you know, so far this character looking very, very even. You know, going quite nicely with Bloom's Joker here. You know, just barely just trading hits between them.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you can already see how good those recoveries are, but he got back to the ledge the first time. Bloom recognizing, yeah, he's not going to side B this time, because side B obviously doesn't snap the ledge. That's a free Tetrakan, or Makarakan, or whatever the one is. But yeah, immediately making that adaptation and going, yeah, well, if he's going to stall his recovery, I'm going to be right there with the Tetrakan, making sure that I am getting the exact punish that I need, and gimping Wolf off the side at a super early percent.
And there we go, Jaxter finally finding that kill as well. You know, getting that back air on the platform as it was treating his way as well. Bloom definitely not going to survive it. Now Jaxter just playing so carefully, just trying to get these few straight hits in. But Bloom as well, you know, you always have to notice that, you know, they never commit to anything unless they know it's going to hit. They barely throw out moves unless they know for certain that they are absolutely going to land. And it is what makes them such a scary player to face. You know, they will never really risk anything. And yet, you know, you've just got to respect that. You've got to somehow wait out for his options.
Or wanted the up smash a little bit too greedy from Jaxter. You don't often see that. And now, like, I mean, this game is very, very close still. But of course, being like, look at those reads with the up smash. That's not going to get it. Bloom's way ahead of that. They're not rolling to that.
Exactly, and now Jaxter just trying to find this kill, does not want to be taking too much damage here, but Bloom, you know exactly what they can do once they found that opening. 31% OOD, and it's only climbed because of that EHA. And a good stall there as well with the recovery, just to make sure that you don't get hit by that down smash, because yeah, certainly Bloom wanting to hang on to this as long as he can, and doing a fine job of it.
Yeah, Wolf Dash attack not killing. Already off stage though. That's going to trade with, I think, what was a forward air?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, and that's going to be the stock. Game 2 already. I mean, Jaxter wants to be the #1 East of England man, but I don't know.
I have the house key. You won't be able to get into the house if you keep talking like that. That's all I'm saying.
I think Jaxter's #1 East of England,
That's
just
Blink twice if you need help. But yeah, certainly this is looking quite rough now. 2 games down now. Bloom in a fine position to. Yeah, I can see you blinking. Well, don't mind. Don't
No,
worry.
I didn't notice any difference.
Yeah, I've got a flower. We'll go there.
Okay, cheers, man.
We'll sneak out the back one. But regardless, again, just Bloom 1 game away from taking this entire tournament. 3-0. Jaxter going back to the tried and tested Falco as well. That game 1 honestly, wasn't like disastrous. It was very, very competitive from start to finish. The Bloom kind of just hanging it, doing a bit more, sort of hanging out to the end. Just a little bit more than Jaxter was, and that's kind of what gave them the win. But certainly, I do not blame them here for going back to that Falco. It's the same case as what we saw from RAMBOSS in that game 3 versus Jaxter. Went to Samus, it didn't work. Went to 7th off, that did well, but it didn't hit the game. So what do they do game 3? They don't go back to this Sephiroth, they go back to the Samus, and there, oh my gosh, and the recovery actually saving Bloom again. You will never doubt Joker's recovery with the Arsene. Absolute ridiculous.
Yeah, even Jaxter knows the carnival-esque games that are being played here. That's an up tilt back air, baby. Oh, and the little pop-up there, actually, from Jaxter. Now keeping it even here.
Absolutely. I mean, this is, Bloom, Jaxter just going to be taking every opportunity they can. They want to get, these confirmed. They want to keep competitive. They don't want Bloom to take any sort of lead.
And I mean, if there is one thing that Jaxter has to change up about game 1, right, it is getting yourself, to the ledge. Your priority right now is to stay center stage and plant yourself there, because every single stock that Bloom took from that last game, man was in disadvantage. Man was off stage. He had no resources. He was trying to get back with side B and up B, and Bloom was there every single step of the way. See, when you're playing neutral, they're keeping it even.
Absolutely, and what we're seeing here is very, very even. In fact, Jaxter for the first time in the set actually hanging down a lead right now, holding onto it as long as he can. But Bloom, as we've seen time and time again, so many different games, so many different instances and scenarios where they have just eliminated any kind of lead their opponent had in an absolute instant. And we're starting to see it again, quickly. 40% was tacked on to Jaxter, but that forward air coming out, and Jaxter now taking a stock lead, much more convincing than just a percentage one.
Yeah, and a failed conversion there from Bloom. They'll be kicking themselves for that one, and now we see Jaxter potentially. Oh my goodness me, the invincibility of the Arsene getting out of the combo there, do you believe?
Yes, no, that's correct. Of course, for those unaware, we talked about a little bit earlier when Bloom was playing last, but yes, when Arsene comes out, Joker does get that tiny bit of invincibility, which can absolutely interrupt things, and is what we saw there, fortunately, for Jaxter.
Yeah, okay, you've got to remember, this is the potential last game Jaxter has to make something happen. He's got the stock lead, that's a 61% deficit, waiting for an air dodge. That's going to be a back throw off stage, but not quite dead. Has to potentially use all of the resources. Untechable back air. See, I thought he was going to air dodge the ledge there, because Falco's air dodge could make that. But, maybe his recoveries are getting a little bit predictable for Bloom now. And Bloom capitalizing, of course, every time.
And so smart from Bloom as well. And oh my gosh, that was looking so scary as Bloom took Jaxter right up to the sky there. It was looking quite disastrous, but no, Jaxter living on by a little bit here. But Bloom now starting to take on this damage, avoiding the up smash as well. Bloom knows they are literally just one stock away from taking this entire tournament, but they just need to tack on just this bit more damage, and it is exactly what they're doing. Arsene gonna come out very soon as well.
All the up air, but good DI there from Bloom, and falling straight into the up smash. Jaxter taking game number 3. Wow, I think there had to be a lot of adaptation there. I saw a lot of times where Jaxter was just sitting in the middle of the stage and being like, yeah, I am sticking myself here, because anytime I am off that ledge, I am at risk of just dying at any percent you give me. Pick a percent, I'm going to get Arsene back air or Tetracard, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Jaxter just keeping calm even in the sort of tense situations. They knew they were one stock away from losing the entire tournament, but just saying, no, I know what to do. I will not, you know, falter for a moment. You know, I will get this hit that I need. And indeed, just waiting for Bloom to come back and getting that up smash. Now, of course, it's still a scary position. Jaxter finally on the board, taking us to a game 4. But Bloom, regardless of anything, still just one game away. Could it be this game?
I mean, already we're starting out with Joker low profiling the up tilt into getting a combo, so, you know what, Joker showing that, you know, I mean, in my opinion, they're still the best character in the game, but I know there's going to be a lot of people contesting that, so I'm not going to harp on about it too much. But, like, yeah, the combo game on this character, there's so many great aspects that Jaxter, so far, doing okay at dealing with. Not the best, he's 2 games down, but, I mean, getting better, I think, by the game, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, as kind of each game has progressed, you know, Jaxter has definitely shown signs of adaptation, where they are catching more onto Bloom's habits, you know, but sometimes it just doesn't even matter. Bloom, being the absolute insane player that is, just falls down there, goes down deep with the bird, and gets that forward air to take the stock away from Jaxter. And now, again, Arsene is still out, finally goes away now, but the damage has been done, Loza.
Yep, I mean, you cannot overextend versus Bloom. There you go, that is just the reality of it, because Bloom puts themselves, like, it's one of those interactions in Smash which doesn't get enough credit, right? Putting yourself in the right position so that when something comes out, you can be ready for it. You know, like, being able to be that versatile and having the utility of your movement and your positioning is what separates the good players from the great players, right? Yeah. And Bloom is always so good at realizing, okay, I need to be in X, Y, and Z positions for X, Y, and Z reactions, and getting the optimal punish for the, you know, whiff of Jaxter.
Exactly. No, perfect way to put it there. You know, Bloom just always being the exact point he needs. But of course, Jaxter as well, you know, really now just starting to actually tear away this lead that Bloom put for themselves with that kind of early stock at the start. But, you know, suddenly keeping it a lot more competitive. And indeed, Bloom being kept in disadvantage since he's respawned.
Yeah, and I mean, already 80% on Bloom, as you can see. Making it back is Jaxter, but oh no, he's off the ledge. Oh, what a reflector! Is that going to be up tilt back air? It is, baby! And there you go. Wowee. I mean, we were talking about how well Bloom was doing, and then Jaxter was, again, finally we see some of that GP versus Jaxter energy there. I'm going to get one opening. I know exactly what's happening. I know what happened there, though.
Yeah, for a second there, it looked like he kind of side-beat into the ledge there. I'm not too sure. I think it might have been an accidental loss, or maybe just, you know, kind of just touching the blossom just a little bit too much. Regardless, it's just opened up the doors of this game once more. You know, suddenly, where Jaxter did hold a lead, suddenly Bloom keeping a lot closer. Jaxter trying to capitalize on this as much as they can. If they can dodge this Arsene, it might not come out for the rest of the game, and I think Jaxter knows it, but he has to be careful because we know how much Arsene can do.
Okay, but Jaxter keeping Bloom off stage, not going to get the edge guard, potentially going to get the edge guard. We're seeing that here? No, not quite. Beautiful nair from Bloom, catching Jaxter out on the ledge there. And I mean, yep, you got to be feeling the pressure if you're Jaxter.
Yeah, and again, both these players certainly know they are at percentages where one thing could lead into another. So close to the up tilt there, but not going to find it just yet. Jaxter falling short of that back air, but Bloom still in disadvantage, needs to come back. And again, Jaxter knows that he's in a scary position as well. He can't overextend, otherwise Bloom will capitalize on it. The Arsene is not coming out, so that is not a worry for them. But Of course, base Joker still a scary thing if he gets hit by one back air.
No
Or
way.
that Jaxter, not quite yet. Still living. Jaxter 140. Bloom dives off there to try and get the edge guard, but not quite yet.
Bloom's been doing so many neutral get-ups in this high-pressure situation. It's all going to be about how Jaxter gets around that net, and he does. Oh, that's not safe on shield. Back throw, not going to quite do it here. What's the edge guard?
And the red lightning does come out, but yes, both these players now. Jaxter 166, Bloom at 124. Both these players in the scare position. They both dive down there so low, but it is the untechable dash, the forward air that goes into Jaxter, and Bloom forever is your Clash Canal Grand Final Champion, the winner of it all.
You can see it in the player cam there. You can hear it in the crowds. Truly the East of England, you know, who like they're super proud of here today. East of England! Wowee. I mean, what a showing from both players. 3-1 there in the end. So difficult for to adapt from Jaxter, of course. But that Joker play.
Absolutely. I mean, again, Bloom takes us all by surprise by, first of all, bringing out that Joker, and then not only that, but also winning the entire tournament as well.
Yeah.
I guess that's another one that people need to watch out for, but just absolutely phenomenal stuff there from both players. I mean, Jaxter obviously keeping that so competitive. You could see as each stock progressed how far he was getting, how much he was getting used to Bloom's play, and certainly that last stock, last hit situation, so close between them. But Bloom forever, just keeping calm as always, taking another tournament under his name, and he is your champion. And that, of course, wraps up the entire tournament, was it?
Yes,
we are
yes,
finally
it does.
at the end. So, of course, do a quick shout out to our sponsors as well. Crime, the absolute legend, sponsoring so many great players like Chad, Nakat, Super Striker, and Luma, doing so much for the scene already. And of course, Beacons as well. Sign up at beacons.gg/sign up. All you need. But that's going to be it from us, I reckon.
That is going to be it from us. Yeah, it has been Rosa and Smar here today for your top 8. It's been an absolutely wonderful time. I need to leave Cars a little bit of a present.
Absolutely.
It's the third one in the series, baby, and we're ending it off on that, East of England!
Unbelievable.
That's what we're talking about.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. We've been your top 8 casters, and we will see you in the next one.
Well, take care.